Hey everybody, welcome to this 25k Christmas Q&A stream and hangout that I basically started at the worst possible time because it's too early for the Americans to join, and like most of actually I think just the Germans and the British royal family currently hanging out with family to do presents. But also it might be a bit too early for the Europeans. So yeah, hi. It's So currently, here's what I predict is going to happen. I'm currently 8 subscribers away from 25k, and I don't think I'm gonna reach that tonight because a bunch of you wankers are gonna unsubscribe just to troll me, and that's fine because that's the kind of cool banter we have on this channel. Oh, there's actually a lot of people in the chat. I thought this was gonna be way different. What is a good burger stream without reviewing a bunch of beers? This is the Nittenauer. The Nittenauer or Wittenauer? It looks okay. It says Nittenauer, right? But it's the Wit. Okay. This is an orange peel and coriander beer. So. Oh, cheesy tits, Burger, I got banned from Twitter. I need a dose of your terrible middle of the night jokes, please. I'm sorry, you got banned off Twitter? Why did you get banned off Twitter? One of the fucking best accounts that I follow. What is going on here? So this is an alcohol-free beer technique. It's under 0.5% per volume. No idea why they chose to make it that way, but it's apparently still a very good beer. And so, because I drink for taste, that's the thing. Ah, hello, Chariot Rider. Let me look into my tweet thing. Or maybe I don't know when you got banned off Twitter. I can narrate you my Twitter account. Does the fact that jazz and blues are my favorite genres of music not kind of make me a wigger? That's sort of my last joke, but you wanted a bad joke, so I'm gonna open the treasure trove up for you. How about you have Ocean's 11, but instead of Danny Ocean, it's Danny DeVito, and it's DeVito's 11. Yes, thank you very much. I will now taste this beer. Smells very good. Smells like a soft drink. It's got a very nice bitterness to it. It tastes like beer. Damn. This is nice. YouTube has gifted me with broken videos this Christmas, so I can't see anything. It doesn't matter. It's not that cool anyway. So, speaking of videos on YouTube, right? There was this thing years ago. This was like before I started TheBurgerkrieg properly. I did this video called Overwatch is Problematic after the whole fucking Tracer debacle that happened, where they removed like a Tracer pose and people were like, oh no, this is because of SJWs, and then they put in one that's even like straight up from a pinup calendar. And I did this massively satirical video where I basically analyzed the gameplay trailers and do like a satirical sort of SJW type commentary. This was back when that was still a thing, and when we were still in the throes of that battle, and it was just the dumbest shit. But I still think it was a good video. But it was just the dumbest shit. It was like when Symmetra does her thing when she plugs the turrets. It's like, oh, this perpetuates the stereotype that Indian people can create matter out of thin air. And YouTube deleted that video for bullying and hate speech. That is what happened there. I can't say for long, but please have a Merry Christmas, Burger. You deserve one. Blessings from my favorite your favorite philosophical YouTuber. Don't inflate my ego too much, my man. Happy Christmas to you as well. And happy Christmas to all of the other people who were also there. And also the people who were not there. Q, will we be seeing any more of the Interesting Lives videos? Absolutely, definitely. The next one, I think, is going to be Joan of Arc. When are you going to start playing Yu-Gi-Oh since you enjoy tabletop games so much? How about never? I do have a lot of Magic the Gathering cards, literally just right behind this webcam. There's like a ton of Magic the Gathering cards. I haven't played it in years, and I'm not going to. I just like the artwork. I don't like trading card games. My tiny little rat brain doesn't work for it. Also, happy Hanukkah from Jewland, everyone. An extra jam donut. Oh yeah, you're from Israel. I remember that. Is it too late to talk about YouTube Rewind? I already have talked about YouTube Rewind. It was, liking Japanese jazz not only makes you a wigger, but a weeaboo too. Oh my god, I'm a wigaboo. Damn. Oh, damn. I had not considered this. Also, yeah, this is the studio chat. I will probably, at a later point, get into Patreon VC. With like the patrons, so like not just the $10 plus patrons can join, but like all patrons. But that's still some times away. Right now, I'm just looking to answer a bunch of audience questions. I don't think I've done a proper Q&A stream in a really long time, so I look forward to getting into it with all of you people. Cheers to extra content on Who's Betty and Merry Christmas. Yeah, my man, that was pretty cool that I got to be able to do. Yeah, and just immediately people unsubscribe. I knew this was gonna happen. Damn. Yeah, and this also, the only other video that's gonna come out this year is the year review. I did one last year also, and holy shit, right? I watched like last year's year review to essentially just check the structure that I used, and holy shit was I fat. God damn. I don't ever want to become that fat again. Jesus Christ, man. Who are some underrated YouTubers who deserve attention? Well, Chariot Rider. I don't know Chariot Rider. Who would you think is a kind of YouTuber that deserves attention? Potentially one that does, I don't know, like videos on game design that are very good. Might have had a guest video on my channel. His name is Chariot Rider, but like also unironically, there's a bunch of cool YouTubers that deserve a lot more attention. All of that is going to actually be in the new video. So in the food review. Break is ending soon. I have to get back to work. Won't be writing much, but I'm still listening. Nice. Go work in the capitalist system or something. Onicio. How much world building do you do for your short stories? So in terms of short stories, a lot of the time I discover the world as I write them, but very often I do short stories in order to do world building. Like I try to... There's some like interesting region or some interesting aspect of a world. Like for instance, this is a pretty old one, Sirvendario, that short story. I had this idea for these, like, not necessarily Witcher type characters, but they are like rangers who live in the wilderness of this huge river delta and act as like both monster hunters, but also like conservationists and park rangers. And that was very interesting to me, and it was really just going to be a minor aspect of this world in general. But I went into it, and like I did that story to work out how they work and how they function, and that was pretty cool. So that's something that I very often do with world building, is I just I write short stories in order to really explore a concept properly. What's your take on Labour getting cucked in the UK elections? I don't have a very thought out take on that, frankly, because I'm not into like UK parliamentary politics enough. I do think that it's, for many people, it's this sort of... So I will say this, right? If in this election, the main reason you voted for one party over another was Brexit, you're an idiot. Because it's not even the most important thing happening in Britain right now, or in Europe. It's a thing. It's something that may well be a thing that is in your consideration when choosing a party, but it shouldn't have been the main thing. And I think that much of the reason that Labour got so fucking hit in the face was precisely because a lot of people had that as like the only issue in their election. Like just exclusively the only issue. Not just, oh, this is an important issue to me, but like the only one. That's pretty dumb. Thoughts on impeachment? I was never a fan of I never really cared about the impeachment procedure as such. I always thought if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. The real reason that you can beat Trump is during the next election. I mean, at this point, it's like it's almost pointless to impeach him because his term is almost over. I mean, I guess there's still a year left. But like, what do you get? You gonna get fucking Mike electrocute me, Daddy Pence, if that even passes the Senate, which it probably won't. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's certainly the right of Congress to enact these articles of impeachment, but I don't think it's ultimately something that matters that much. So this is coming from a mile away. Winkle pickers have had a shortage for the last 2 years. What is happening? Corbyn just didn't have cross-party appeal. He had to go eventually. I really like the Old Man Tesla short. Layers of the world's law just kept opening up in the best way. Oh, thank you very much. That was I'm really happy about that. That's exactly what I was trying to do. There is actually a novel in the works in that specific world. Yeah. What's your opinion on the Witcher Netflix show? So I watched it. I thought it was good. It wasn't great. Like, I enjoyed watching it. At no point was I like, oh, I'm not enjoying myself right now. It was, Henry Cavill does just such a phenomenal Geralt. He even sounds like the one from the video games, aside from the fact that the one from the video games has an American accent. So really, Henry Cavill is better than that. It's really tremendous. He's a bit too bulky, maybe. That's the only criticism that I might possibly have, because like Geralt in the video games is a bit lankier, but also this is based on the books and not the games. I do have some gripes with it. There were a lot of things that I liked about it. Some things where I feel like they deviated from not just the lore, but like the story in a way that was like, why did you do that? But never in a way that it's like this makes the show worse, the narrative is such worse. I even like the structure of it, even though I do believe that if you haven't read the books and the short stories, you will be very confused at the fact that they just all of the different storylines are set during different times. So that's a bit of a thing. The only thing that actually seriously bothered me is and I know and this is such a fucking 2016 Gamergate thing to complain about, but the diversity. And I'm not talking about, like, you know how in Sintra there was just one knight who was black? That's, like, cool. I just assume that there's a backstory to that this person who isn't originally from this region happens to be here, and he's, like, so badass that he got accepted into the knightly ranks. And also with the sorcerers, it's like there's black sorcerers. Okay, it's a pretty cosmopolitan organization. This is completely normal. I also like the fact that the elves were black, because it was not part of the original world building. It's not part of the video games. I think it's a very nice touch. I didn't like that some of the elves were white, if I'm entirely honest with you. It's a really cool playing with those tropes thing. So that's something I actually really enjoyed. I'm talking specifically about the diversity in the towns of the north. Because that's not how that works. Just regular peasant people are about as diverse as, say, like people who live in London. This is unrealistic. Like, okay, we do have a world where we have portals, but those are like, wizards use them. Mass migrations don't happen in this kind of world. It's just one of those things where the world building is something that deviates from the way the thing would realistically be, and so you have to explain why it is that way. And they didn't do that. If they had an explanation for it, that would be fine. But it's just grating and unrealistic because that's not how populations in a medieval society work. It just is not how that works. But that's basically the only thing that actually... No, and here's the other thing though, right? There is a group of people that could, realistically, within the context of the Witcher universe, be pretty diverse racially. And that is the army of Nilfgaard. Because Nilfgaard is a big-ass empire that has a lot of different ethnicities and people with different skin colors in that huge fucking empire. But you will notice that all of the soldiers who work for the evil empire, with the sole exception of Fringilla Vigo, who is like an arch-villain, are white. That is, to me, so just... It's not even clever, like making the elves black. That is clever, that is good. But it's just proselytizing. It's not even proselytizing. It's just making an empty statement that the best thing it can do is not bother people. That's the best case scenario for that. And it's not even the thing that's going to happen. Okay. Yeah, let's... I ranted about this quite a bit, so you set me off a little bit. I'm going to try to get through these questions a bit. Thoughts on Douglas Murray? I don't think I know who that is. Favorite film of all time? Difficult. Off the top of my head, I'd say Inglourious Bastards. Because it's very good. And because they kill Nazis. How much is your daily life affected by the state of France currently? Like, I don't think it is at all. How did you feel about Monkey Jones' downfall earlier this year? I didn't really follow it very much. I thought it was fucked up that they banned him. Merry Christmas. Thank you very much. You too. I've been watching your channel some time and never see the stream. Well then, welcome. Will you ever do an all Patreon stream instead of the big wallet lads? Patreon voice chat does exist. Yes, later today. And like, when there's not as much questions anymore. What's your favorite traditional folk story? I'm not super into traditional folk stories, I gotta be honest with you. I mean, I did as a kid get all the fairy tales and the German versions of the fairy tales. Probably, the one that as a kid I loved the most was Der Fischer und seine Frau. I'm gonna look up what that is in English. Der Fischer von Fischer und seiner Frau. It's The Fisherman and His Wife. But it's a grim fairy tale where basically this guy, this fisherman, his wife is nagging him, and he always drags the fish out of the water. It's like a magical fish. And he goes, and the fish goes, I'm gonna give you a wish if you throw me back in the water. And so he's like, oh, my wife wants to live in this mansion and shit, and just it goes up and up, ever further until she's like the Pope. Then he's like, she still wants more, and the fish is like, fuck you. You're back in your teapot where you used to live. So that was when I was a kid. I really liked that. But I had this beautiful illustrated version of it. So that was really cool. Merry Christmas. What's the big one? Oh, okay. Is that Discord? Yes, this is my Discord. Do you like progressive rock? No, I do not like prog rock at all. There's a bunch of people who have been trying to get me into prog rock. I don't like it. I want a song to be one thing. I want a song to evoke one like mood in terms of the way that the music works. That's like I can work with that with like DJ sets and like long jazz records, but I think every song this is just my personal thing. I have no problem with you if you're into prog rock, but just my personal feeling is that I prefer it if it's one thing. Do you like power metal? Not really into metal music very much. Minecraft stream when? I have been getting back into Minecraft a bit. Not sure if I'm going to do a Minecraft stream, because usually when I play Minecraft, it's like you using mods, and then it's just boring. And you'll just see how stupid I really am. Interested in Warhammer? Not really, no. Brady, how often do you monetize, or how much the merchants get? Thank you, Brady, for the £20. I very rarely get demonetized. Like, really, really rarely. And I don't actually owe anyone any... Actually, I do own the state of Schleswig-Holstein 10,000 euros. But they're not going to collect until like 10 years from now, so... by very similar, I mean exactly the same story. I mean, that makes sense, that there's very similar folktales between different... I mean, the Brothers Grimm didn't invent that. It was a thing that, you know, they collected those tales. Favorite pizza toppings? My finger, if it's literally over the unsubscribe button, and your answer dictates whether it gets pressed or not. So I do like my exotic pizzas. Obviously, pineapple on pizza is a complete war crime. I had a pizza earlier with like arugula salad, arugula, I think you call it. Bit of like nuts, the gorgonzola and the parmesan. That was pretty good. My favorite pizza topping is tomato. Just tomato sauce. I like me just a good, powerful tomato sauce. You should listen to Snow Goose by the Camel, though. It's better if you read the novella. I'm not sure what that... what about Warhammer in Space? That's the one I like even less than the regular Warhammer. That is my thing, is that I really don't like it. Somebody sent me a good meme. Prog rock is a lot like some jazz with many movements. Yeah, and I can tolerate that in jazz, but not in prog rock. I want to write a story that includes sci-fi and fantasy, one set against the other. I hope to show that both are necessary, but I'm having trouble avoiding turning my fantasy monks into cheap Jedi. Why would... Jedi are cool. So, you know, have them be Jedi. Why not? It's a cool thing, steal it. Make it your own, but steal it. Are Seth and Mandalorian the same... I have no idea who Seth is. Best food to eat in Germany. That fully depends on who you are in Germany. You're going to have to be a bit more specific. Do you still find the content of Amazing Atheists entertaining or worth watching at all? I haven't watched it in at least a couple months. So. Pineapple on pizza is fine and everyone is wrong. Sitor, I will take your money because I am a whore for money, but you are wrong. What about Warhammer and American competitive sports? There's actually this thing at my university called the Baltic Cup that happens at every year at Unicon, and it's like a Warhammer tournament, and it's pretty fucking funny how many people just, you know. There's a lot of money to be stolen in Warhammer figurines on that day, is all I'm going to say. Just came here to tell you that the only real YouTuber left. That probably is not cool, not true, but I do appreciate the compliment. Why do you dislike Space Warhammer? It's too grimdark. It's just all layers of just dark and terrible, and the further you read into it, the worse it becomes. There is, like, no good in that universe. And that just makes the darkness be one shade. That makes it boring. Like, I'm a fan of grimdark settings, but there needs to be light in it to contrast. Otherwise, it's just darkness-induced apathy, as TV tropes would put it. Do you like Mortal Kombat, specifically the lore? I'm not really into that. I haven't played it a lot, and I am not really in the lore a lot. Pretty high right now. I want to come show you my support. Yeah, nice, dude. Best food in Germany, currywurst. Maybe if you're in Berlin. Will you ever take sponsorship from Raid Shadow Legends? No, I don't play any mobile games. So, which faculty are you in? What do you mean? Which faculty am I in? I work from home in my job. What are you drinking? Beer. It's an orange peel and coriander beer. It's, by the way, it's very good. It's bitter. It's like a bittery fruit juice. Very nice, very nice. Okay. Do you like Fallout, specifically New Vegas? I do. I really enjoyed Fallout New Vegas. The problem with Fallout for me most of the time has been that it's... They should use colors more, is my thing. £50. Jesus Christ, Brady. Modern democracy is based on how much you spend, and therefore pineapple on pizza is heresy. Yes. Yes. Praise the Brady. This is now true. Unless, of course, someone wants to donate more money, in which case... But Burger, it's the most ambitious RPG of all time. And the best part, it's free. Is it the most ambitious RPG of... I feel like The Witcher was the most ambitious RPG of all time. I feel like Star Citizen is the most ambiguous RPG of all time. Have you read The Chronicles of Thomas Covenant by Stephen R. Donaldson? I have never heard of any of those words. Would you consider trying a grilled pineapple on a burger? It's very good. I call them tiki burgers. I can imagine that, frankly. But it would have to be very... No, actually, I don't like pineapple. That's my problem. Like, I like pineapple flavor in, like, a sweet context. But mixing pineapple... Okay, Sito, you are aware that you're not supposed to post gore in this channel, right? I don't want gore on my server, and this is frankly worse than gore. So I might have to ban you. I'm gonna throw that. Hyperlight Drifter is one of my favorite post-apocalypse games because the world's so colorful. Nice. I can't wait to gulag the hell off the anti-pineapple pizza people. Well, I will be in the resistance. Why did you name the channel TheBurgerkrieg? It's it's actually my old, like, Minecraft username. This is true. When I was, like, 11, I chose for my internet handle Silver G, which is so cringe. And then eventually I got my Minecraft account, and I decided to get a new name, and I just went with BurgerKrieg. And ever since, I've just been BurgerKrieg. Have you heard of Dual Universe? I have not. To spend all my Christmas money, I just got to defend my pineapples, honest or not. How many of you have played Pathfinder Kingmaker? I heard it has some flaws that I can't... Okay, I'm gonna look this up on Steam. Pathfinder Kingmaker Enhanced Edition. Let's see. At the reviews. Oh, now they're mostly positive. Okay. Tedious waste of time. RNG swings are so huge with the solid boss fight. We'll see ravaged by nothing more than a pack of wolves in the next moment. Okay. So it's too much RNG. Weird scaling. Okay, you need to save scum. Yeah, I don't like unfair RNG. Like I like RNG, but it has to be in like, I mean, I like XCOM, but you have to, come on, you know. I'm sorry, you did a super chat, Oakstaff. It wasn't displayed. Let me check in top chats. Okay, no. I want to, okay, no. All messages visible. Let me check, because that would be kind of fucky if YouTube hadn't displayed your super chat. Let's see. Not now. Show me the super. Where can I see the super chats? I can't see them anywhere. Did you do it before the stream? Do you support the anti-centrist? I don't think there's such a thing as an anti-centrist movement. That's a JREG meme. A good JREG meme, frankly, but okay. Favorite band of all time? That, I don't think I can answer that question. Because there's so many good bands. I like the Gorillaz. I don't know. He sent a super chat, but it just didn't go through. That's just a few minutes ago. This is so weird. Okay, what are your thoughts on the time cube? Oh, it's a genius theory by the smartest man that's ever happened. YouTube. Why? Viewer activity. Yeah, the Oak stuff. Okay, you're in the viewer activity thing, but not here. 50 Danish kroner. Merry Christmas, Burger, with the murder hobos almost killed one another yesterday. Gotta get back to family stuff. See you around, cunt. Thank you very much, Oak Staff, my man. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't display it in the live chat as such. Anyone asked if he's played Disco Elysium? I have not. There is a good RPG by the name of Remembrance. It's about a girl that ended up in a different world and recovered her memories that were, for the most part, very bad. I've never heard of that, so, yeah. Hello, Burger. Merry Christ Holiday Sports Ball. You too, my man. You too. What do you think of Stratovarius? What is Stratovarius? That's what I think about that. What is that? Yeah, okay, yeah, Oak Stuff, you go have fun with your family. Yeah, there's a bunch of people having fun with their families right now. Also, this is an important announcement. There's not gonna be 10 short stories this month, but only 9, because the last one didn't get... Something's happening with the chat. It just tells me sometimes the chat disconnected. Please wait a while we try to reconnect you. But it seems to be like a YouTube thing. So, yeah. It just didn't get done, and I'm not gonna publish a half-finished story. Are Latinos extremely loud? That is a statement generalized in a way that I can't really answer it because I don't have the data to corroborate that statement. Disco Elysium is one of the best RPGs to come out in the decade. Glad it's finally getting filleted heavily by the pub. Okay, I'm gonna... Disco Elysium. Okay. Oh, I've seen this. I've seen this on my Steam feed. This does look kind of cool. Okay, I'm not like a huge fan of these text-based RPGs. I like my like Mass Effects. If I could get into this kind of game, and if I could get into like the kind of pixel game, there's so many great games that I could super enjoy. But yeah. Would you play Remembrance? Transfer is very good. I don't know. I don't play as many video games as I used to. Cruelest thing you've ever done. I'm not going to say that on stream. Stratovarius is some solid power metal. Okay, you should. Okay, this is music. Yeah, I know about Sabaton and Powerwolf, and I don't like either. Favorite meme of the year? I don't even know that I remember all of the memes of the year. But no, wait, what am I talking about? Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. That's my favorite meme of the year. As a Latino, yes, we are loud. I do remember back when I moved up from Spain as a child, a lot of, like, my mother used to complain that I was so loud. But people still do that. I just have a very loud voice. But Burger, text-based are the most based. Yeah, but I like cinematic shit. Have you played Hollow Knight at least? No. Like, platformers I don't like. I don't like platformers. Like, side-scrollers, I don't either. I'm into, like, narrative and, like, building. I'm into Anno and City Skylines and turn-based strategy games. Sabaton is almost as great as pineapple on a burger. Yeah, I think we might not have the same taste in things there, my man. I'm gonna get the second beer of 3 tonight. Clean my palate real quick. So this is a honey Kölsch. It says honey Kölsch, but it's supposed to be honey Kölsch. Kölsch style ale brewed with Rogue Farms hop yard honey. Kölsch is my favorite style of beer. It's from my hometown of Cologne. It's delicious. And I like this brewery, so I'm very curious what this Kölsch with honey tastes like. Let me read the flavor text. Dedicated to bees. Situated just across from 40 acres of rogue hops, 119 colonies of bees were carefully kept and fed, and the honey was uncapped, extracted, filtered, and finally infused into a refreshing Kölsch-style ale. This rogue was brewed using ingredients grown on rogue farms in Oregon. From ground to glass, we're proud to say it's a true taste of rogue terroir. To learn more about rogue farms, blah blah, visit the website. Okay. Let's test this. It smells very good. It smells very fruity. It smells of honey. It's pretty delicious. Okay, let's taste this. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So the flavor's not super intense. But it's also like... It's subtle and not excessively sweet. Which is always scary when you put honey and stuff. Yeah, that's cool. Oh, it's good. It's good. Darkest Dungeon. I do like Darkest Dungeon, but I play it on Radiant mode. A happiest moment of your content creator life / experience. It's always these superlative questions that get me because it's difficult to do this. But one thing that I had was that I wrote this short story called A Good Place when I was in a very bad place. Usually when I write stories, I empathize a lot with the characters. I put myself into the characters. And there's a lot of fucked up shit that happens with these characters. And so at some point earlier this year when I was in like deep depression, I thought I can't write anymore because I have to put my characters in like distressing situations in order to make the stories interesting. And it feels like I am hurting this fictional person that way. And that's when I wrote A Good Place, where I just wanted to write a nice story when nothing really happens, about a guy who's having a good, calm, relaxed, meditative time. And a friend of mine read that story while in a very like similar mindset situation, and he told me afterwards that was exactly what he felt. And I hadn't told him, oh, this is the way that I wrote the story, but it's like, oh, I felt like really calm, and it was like I felt more relaxed after having read that story. And I was like, damn, that's exactly what I wanted to hear. Grey Marine or Battleborn? No idea what that is. Thoughts on Magic the Gathering? I talked about it like a half hour ago. Can't see anything, so I have to assume Burger's currently eating pineapple on pizza from all the yeah. That's absolutely what's happened. Oh, this is good beer, man. This is. I think this would go very well with like a red ale. This honey concept. But it would have to be like wild honey, like really flavorful, maybe a little smoky wild honey. That seems to be the holy grail of authorships, to write a story that contains zero conflict. I don't think it is. Its conflict is good and interesting, but especially with like my short stories, I do like to explore things that you're not supposed to do, which I think is something that most authors do. Coke or Pepsi? I don't really drink either. I mostly drink water. I do like both though. My favorite cola is Afri Cola, which is like a cologne thing. Boxers or briefs? Boxer briefs. Iron Brew. Oh my god. I had Iron Brew a couple times. It's so fucked up. It is so disgusting, but also somehow delicious. I don't even. I'm considering starting a pineapple-themed metal band. The sole purpose of spanning it all in your communities. What do you think, Burger? I do think you should give me an engagement on my videos. I do think that's a very good idea. Yeah. Let's see. Boxer briefs is the only correct. I mean, I have boxers and boxer briefs, but yeah, I have both of these things. I should probably buy more underwear. I know I have enough underwear, but like, I burn through it very quickly. But to make an interesting, compelling story with character development but no conflict must be hard. No, it doesn't have character development explicitly. It's not a compelling story. It's just a vignette of a part of that guy's life. I don't think you can have character development without some level of conflict. Do you ever world build for the sake of world building without planning to write any story set in the world? Yes, absolutely. I do that. So I'll just have an idea. Usually it's like civic stuff, like, oh, this is how a system of government might work, and then, oh, on a technological level, this is how the elections function, and this is the political career of these characters, and it's like very, it's not interesting world building shit. It's just fictional civics. Just, oh, and the public transport system of this space station functions this way, and this is how they organize the local guys. It's like just dumb shit. But that is super interesting to me. What's your favorite type of Gatorade flavor? I haven't had Gatorade in many years. Who did you main in Super Smash Bros. Melee? Ganondorf. Favorite fictional character? Oh, that is such a difficult question. Because there's so many fictional characters. I suppose I like Hank Moody, even though he's just... I identify with him in many ways, and in many other ways I'm like, okay, I'm glad that I'm more of a grown-up than this, like, man in his mid-40s who has a daughter and is a fairly accomplished writer. And you know, other ways I'm like, why do you always go back to Karen? Which, by I do believe that Karen is the villain of Californication. But like generally, that show is way better than people give it credit for. It's my favorite show. It's not the best show that was ever made, but it's my favorite show. I really like unironically, I said this recently. Like Avasarala and Drummer from The Expanse. I really like both of them. Avasarala because she's a very well done political character. And Drummer, I don't know what is so badass about Drummer, but it is. While at the same time, she's not so badass that it's unrealistic. Like, she seems like an actual real person still. But then I like pretty much all characters from The Expanse. Oh man, I'm looking at my bookshelf now. Favorite fictional character? This is such a huge fucking question. Favorite thing you've ever written or top 3? Man, I don't really like anything that I've written very much. I like A Good Place to a degree. Sudamandario, I think, is kind of cool. I don't even remember all of the stories that I've written. After Shadowrun, what's your favorite RPG system? Shadowrun is not my favorite RPG system. I fucking hate Shadowrun as an RPG system. So that's not even... Like, I don't even like it. How did you get into being a serious YouTuber apart from the Overwatch weird video? I wanted to do YouTube for like a really long time, and I wanted to do... originally it was gaming content on the Bear Arms channel, where also the Overwatch video came out. And there was this thing called the Civ Battle Royale, where I did like the audio narrations for it. And so that channel got a lot of subscribers that way. And at some point, I just decided to like start it on the TheBurgerkrieg channel, which I had that channel for a long time, but then I like seriously started. I think it was 2017, early 2017. I was like, I'm gonna just do this now, and then I did, and it was very good. And it worked out. Favorite author, or at least an author whose work you enjoy a lot. Obviously James Corey, which is not one guy but two guys. There is this German author called Kai Meier who does magical realism. Is this series of books called Die Wellenläufer, which is like set in the Caribbean, where the premise is basically there's kids who can walk on water, but there's so much cool stuff. Like there's this one of the main characters, his dad has this farm where they just have ghosts, and ghosts do farm work there, and it's just a normal thing that happens. And there's this guy called the Ghost Merchant who shows up, and he sells them ghosts, and it's just such a cool universe. And that was like the very first series of books that I read as a kid. And I still like him very much. It's unfortunately the only thing by Kai Meier that I've read. Obviously, I like George R. R. Martin. I think he's very good. Dude. Like, every time I am asked these kinds of questions, I just draw a blank. And I have to look at my bookshelf and find that it's, nothing that I know of anymore. But yeah. Oh, I like Neil Gaiman too. But who doesn't really? Which YouTuber do you... best game on GameCube? I haven't played that many of them. What opinions of yours have changed over the course of the year? Many. Fuck. Not so much changed, really, but like refined. I would have to have an inventory of ideas that I had in the beginning of the year. But there must be like some. But I don't remember the beginning of the year. Which YouTuber do you hold the most contempt for? I don't really have contempt for people. I don't have time for that kind of shit. What are your thoughts on Disney? It has such a great corporate overreach to crush all new ideas and take all properties, doesn't it? Yes. Disney needs to be broken up. Disney is a bad company that does bad things. Disney must be destroyed. Favorite TV show that you felt ended too early? Well, you know, The Wire, obviously. Duh. It should still be running. Can't be enough seasons of The Wire. But also, like, unironically, Firefly. Firefly was good as shit. I didn't watch it back when it was out, but I love Firefly. Big Asparagus has infiltrated the meme economy. What? What is happening? Oh yeah, I'm not super in this chat. What the fuck is going on here? Favorite hentai genre? I don't watch hentai. I don't even watch anime. Why would I watch hentai? Murray Crumbus Borgar. Thank you, voice of Dizzy. Is there any video on the channel that you really regret making and would want to revise, either because of new information or because your opinion otherwise changed? Oh yeah, a bunch of them. No, there's videos like that. None come to mind right now immediately, but like sometimes I think about videos and I'm like, but at the same time I'm not gonna like delete them because I believe in people changing their opinions on things. I think that's a very important thing to happen to a person, and I think you should always like be honest about the things that you used to believe. Which YouTuber do you want to collab with the most? Oh, there's a bunch of YouTubers I want to collab with. Oh damn. There was like a bit of talk of a collab with the Internet Historian, but that I fell through. As happens with these things, you know, scheduling shit and all that. He actually just seems like a massively fun guy. Who else? Like, there's a lot of like world building channels. Stoneworks, for instance. The problem is, it's difficult for me to collab with people because, is it really though? I have a very specific channel. I actually don't have a very specific channel. I should be able to collab with anyone. Damn, just had this major revelation for myself. There's obviously like Chris Reagan. Like if at any point in my life I manage to become the voice of the llama in fucking Chris Reagan, the name of which I just now forgot, even though literally he's one of the few YouTubers that I always watch immediately. Paul, yes, Paul. That would be like, that would be the best fucking thing ever. But all of this is like dreamy shit. I don't like, you know. But I'm happy about all kinds of collabs. I found, especially working with Zeno, I found that I actually do enjoy collabs quite a bit. Can you please tell my fellow Americans how fucking stupid our tipping culture is? Your tipping culture's fucking stupid. Okay? You shouldn't have to tip waiters. It's the job of the venue to pay the waiters properly. Favorite porn genre? So, it's not like anything weird, but I'm still not going to discuss it on a live stream. I think I may have discussed it on a live stream before, but I'm not gonna. Not on Christmas. It's a Christian holiday. For me, the TV show that ended too early was Surface. I haven't watched that. Give us a porn reco. Bernie Sanders' sex tape with David Hasselhoff. That one's really good. I will forever be immortalized by Burger saying thank you. Yes, voice of Dizzy, thank you. What would we do if Gangnam Style was trying to break into your house in the middle of the night? Why would a song... why are you posting eggs? Sito, you disgusting... Why are you posting that? I mean, I don't know why. I mean, obviously, I know what you're trying to say. I'd be confused, but also, I do own a sword, so. Do you read fan fictions at all? Not anything specific, but like, do you find any kind of quality fan written stories? I write fan fictions. The ones that I publish, like, not. It's like most fan fictions are just like sex stuff, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I don't care for it at all. I'm interested in like cool stories that are not just like fucking fan service dumb shit. Usually it's mostly I like the fan fictions that just don't include any of the main characters. But like, yeah. I don't think there's the War of the Wheel. That's like a Magic the Gathering fan fiction that's really good. But otherwise, I find it extremely difficult to find like really good fan fictions that suit my tastes. So I stick to normal books. What world power do you prefer? Roman, British, American, or future China? How about European? I don't know if you answered this before, but what are your favorite MTG colors you identify, or the colors you identify with? I used to play a lot of black and blue. Not sure that fits my personality anymore. But I did used to be an edgy teenager. I think everything works for me a bit. Like, I think of myself as being somewhat clever. So blue I like. I have a dark and checkered past, so black I like. I'm a pretty emotional person, so red I like. I'm very protective of people I care about, so white I like. I like life and growth and plants, so green I also like. Thoughts on Vermin Supreme joining the Libertarian Party? I barely know who Vermin Supreme is, so Birdgear's favorite porn is women insulting you while they smoke. What's happening? Worst corporation other than EA? There's a bunch of worse corporations than EA. You know, like Nestle and shit. Or, I don't know, maybe fucking Blackwater. Like, actual mercenary companies that commit war crimes. Best YouTube animators. I'm not hugely into animation, so I'm gonna say Xeno. Hi Burger, flash greetings from a huge Italian family dinner. Keep going, man. I'm sorry, are you watching the stream with your whole family? Because you shouldn't be doing that. Also, I'm not gonna do a racist Italian impression. I like Italians. I especially like Italian cuisine. Or rather, Italian cuisines, plural. Vermin Supreme is the guy who wants to get everyone a free pony. I don't want a free pony. Why would I want a free pony? I can't take care of a fucking pony. What's your favorite Christmas memory? I don't have a lot of good Christmas memories. Insert all health insurance companies here. Well, yeah, both basically, yeah. Do you have plans to get jacked in 2020? I don't have plans to get jacked. I work out for like fitness because I want to be like fit. I don't work out to look like, Henry Cavill. Like I'm pretty strong. I have decent stamina. I'm getting more into like Krav Maga, so I am gonna get like more athletic throughout the year. But it's not like I'm not gonna get jacked. I like eating fries way too much for that. If you could make any plant extinct, what would it be? Why would I make a plant extinct? Why would I do that? I'm pretty sure that ruining my favorite video game franchise is worse than exploding Flint residents or murdering civilians. Burger. EA is obviously the worst company. No, yeah, that's a very strong argument. How many pings? How can you survive that? There's a magical trick on Discord, right? First thing that I do when I join a new server, right-click server mute. Done. Done. Fucking done. Done, done, done. I never get anything from Discord. Discord does not bother me. I think I have the server. No, this is the only server that I don't have muted. It's my own. Torbjornsson versus TheBurgerkrieg street fight. Yeah, probably not. I would love to have a beer with Torbjornsson though. He seems like such a nice dude. Holy shit. Be honest, Burger, you would want to make asparagus. No, there's people who like asparagus. Just because I don't like the thing doesn't mean other people can't. If you could bring any extinct species back to life, what would you pick? Oh, damn. Damn. I know that there's theories that that mammoths could be used to, like, slow climate change. It's probably more hypotheses than theories, let's be honest. Let's be honest. So I'd probably say mammoths, because mammoths are cool as shit. Do you still have so many ping notifications? Yeah, I don't check them. I don't care. I'm on like 50 Discord servers, and I'm active on my Discord server. I am sometimes on my uni's pen and paper server. Very occasionally I'll be on Neo's server, and there's one channel on the Cumtown fan server that alerts me to when new episodes come out. And those are the only channels that I check. How long will you be doing this, by the way? I still have family around. I might do it for a while. I don't. It's not like I have shit to do tonight. Berkeley, do fitness channel with 7 years for saying sub nerds in loud German. Hell yeah. Do species that never existed count as extinct? No. No, they do not. If you had one use magic wand to change anything about the EU or European politics, what would it be? Oh, dude. One thing only? Ah, fuck, dude. Like, all of the things that I would change, I think, are things that would work better if other things also changed. But if I had to pick one, it would be that, like, the populations of the individual countries can pick their commissioners. Yeah. Favorite weed strain? I don't really have a favorite weed strain. I don't get good enough weed here, and I don't get like this is this and that strain level weed here because it's illegal. It's just you have what you have. You can right click mark server as red as well. Also, yeah, I know I can do that, but why would I do? That's just work. Time for a real question: what god would you side with if all the gods are true and a war between them broke out? Like, pragmatically speaking, the most powerful one, right? The all-powerful one? I don't think they would care, though. I think honest conservatives make a good novelty. Okay, this is a different conversation. What's your favorite extinct nation? Oh my... I say this unironically, but it's also such a meme. Catalonia. I changed the EU to be only about the 4 freedoms of movement. No How do you... That's not... That doesn't work. If you could resurrect 3 people from history to play a tabletop game of your choice, who would they be? Huh. It would be difficult to explain what Dungeons and Dragons is to Diogenes, I think. I think that would be kind of hard, and I would prefer to play if I get to like resurrect only a limited number of people, I'd probably get Socrates, because I feel like Socrates would be more open to the new experience as opposed to Diogenes, who would just take a shit on the table or something. Um, so Socrates. There's so many fucking people who have lived. I don't even think I would resurrect Gary Gygax. I mean, at that point, isn't it just that there's like a certain amount of people from history that I would like to have a conversation with? Because there's a bunch of people in history that I would just really like to have a fucking good talking to. Uh, how about how about fucking Sartre? So I can talk about essentialism. And Karl Marx. Oh, dude, just a bunch of communists, and they all play like the communist paladin like archetype for 5th edition. Damn, that would be cool. There's a bunch of questions coming in. What's your favorite law? This is a difficult question. Okay, I'm just gonna scroll down to the newer ones. A favorite dwarf planet? I mean, you know. Oh, planet/dwarf planet. Earth. Plans on visiting America. Not concrete ones. I kind of do want to go to VidCon this year, but it's on one hand super expensive, and the last 2 days of VidCon are the first 2 days of Kiel Week here, which I really enjoy. And what would be the tabletop game? I don't know. I would have to improvise something. I just find the nearest battle to be a neat in. I don't think he is. I think when you live in a barrel on your own, you're technically a neat. Aristotle is the right answer. Fucking gay ass Aristotle. Joseph Smith, though. If the motherfucking Stephen Hawking. Why would the ailments have to be healed? He's probably pretty cool. He was pretty cool with the ailments. I don't see why that would change. Do you think the Native Americans could have advanced to a technological level similar to Europe if horses never went extinct in the Americas? Did horses go extinct in the Americas? Because a major part of the big problem with the technological development of the Native Americans was that they didn't have what the domesticated animals, because the animals that lived in the Americas, even the ones that you could domesticate, like llamas, were just shit. Or was it alpacas? One of the two. I think they domesticated both of them. And one of them is just massive cunts. I mean, they fucking domesticated hamsters. No, or guinea pigs. Fuck. One of the two. And it's like, this is the kind of shit that you domesticate when you don't have any options. And to have, like, real proper agricultural revolution, which, I mean, you know, the Native Americans did do plenty of agriculture, but I think very essential for that kind of stuff is that you have access to animal power, like horses and mules. I do believe if that had happened, that may well have been the case, yes. And also if they'd had like more time. Wonder which 5th edition race class would fit Nietzsche's Übermensch. Don't have a good joke for that. Horses originated in the Americas, migrated to Eurasia, went extinct in the Americas 10,000 years ago. Yeah, that sounds about right. Asking for a friend who would win, Helen Keller with a handgun or a Roomba with a chainsaw. That's a difficult question, man. Because, like, depending on how you... The Roomba doesn't feel pain, right? So, if she doesn't hit it properly with the gun... Are we assuming that Helen Keller is, like, trained to handle a firearm? Like, does she get shown how to shoot guns and, like, reload based on touch alone? And I mean, it would either have to be a pretty big Roomba or a fairly small chainsaw, because otherwise the Roomba would just tilt. I don't know, like she would be probably able to feel it through the vibrations on the floor. It would really depend on how far away she is from the Roomba and like the terrain as such, because difficult terrain would make it more likely for her to bump into things, but also for the Roomba to bump into things. So I can't really say if Helen Keller with a handgun or a Roomba with a chainsaw would win. The best person to bring back from the dead, if you're Judeo-Christian, would be Adam, and then spend every day reminding him how badly he messed up. I mean... No? What's up? I just got here. It's a Q&A stream. If you could make one empire collapse before it started, what would it be? Why would I any... Well, I mean, you know, the Nazis. Boom. Which is superior, Germany or Austria, and why is it Austria? Germany. How many shots does Helen Keller get? I mean, are we like assuming she has a fully loaded gun? I'm pretty sure she's got a... I mean, you know. My money would probably be on Helen Keller. I think Helen Keller could handle much of anything. I mean, she could definitely shoot a gun if she was taught how to. I'm glad the Helen Roomba situation gets the much needed discussion. Yeah, this is just a serious topic. Considering how quickly signs of our civilization will vanish after 10 or 20k years, do you think there was an advanced civilization of humans over 50,000 years ago and we just can't find any evidence? There would be evidence of it still. There is actually like a bunch of very interesting archaeological hypotheses that there may well have been an advanced civilization millions of years ago on Earth, and it could be that we don't, that we can't detect it, but there are certain technologies that they couldn't have had. Like, for instance, nuclear bombs. There's this thing where you can spot forgeries, like art forgeries, because if you take some of the pigment off the forgeries and you find certain radioisotopes in there, it means that these pigments were painted onto the painting after a certain point in time. And so it can't be the original painting of, like, before that point in time. And I think that point in time was when the first atom bomb was blown up in, like, the atmosphere. And there would still be evidence for that. Although that might have decayed after, like, a lot of millions of years. And obviously you might find, like, microparticulates of plastic and shit, because that, you know, or it's, like, buried by long geological activity. It would be unlikely that we haven't found anything of that. What if Ethiopia was a superpower? I mean... Geographically speaking, like geostrategically speaking, not entirely even impossible. They are in a pretty good spot with, like, the Red Sea over there. Potentially, like, a Kilimanjaro. In, like, wait, is Kilimanjaro in Ethiopia or Kenya? Am I confusing Ethiopia and Kenya? And if Ethiopia had, like, also controlled Somalia, And obviously a lot of things also were different. They might have become a superpower in some alternate universe. If we have another world war, let's say non-nuclear, who are the most likely combatants? There's not going to be a non-nuclear world war. Why is Africa IQ? Because they don't have money and have bad educational standards, and they're busy doing a lot of other things that isn't... IQ is tied, like, directly to economic prosperity. Stargate under Antarctica. Well, I mean, you know. Do you think we'll get nuclear fusion in our lifetime? Probably, yeah, I do think that. Do the Aztecs deserve their reputation as jacked crackheads? A bunch of ancient civilizations deserve their reputations as jacked crackheads, and the Aztecs are definitely among them. Napoleon versus Temujin versus Alexander, who wins in an all-out war between three given modern technology and the ability to time travel? There's way too many factors in there. Ethiopia held out against the British Empire, didn't it? Yeah, but like, holding out against colonial powers is different from being your own superpower. Alles Erdreich in Österreich ist untertan. For fuck's sake, Sito. Sun Tzu versus Mao Zedong. Mao wasn't that smart, frankly. Let's be honest about that for a moment. This is really good beer, man. What sci-fi concept are you most scared of coming true? Bunch of them. Mind control, really. That's the big one. I'm cool with many of them, but like actual mind control is would probably be the scariest. Considering the complexity of the human brain, it's probably not... It might become something that's possible, probably not something that's it's going to become very, like, practical. Will we get extended biological longevity in our lifetime? I fucking hope so. Ancient Assyrians versus Nazis, who was worse? I mean, the Nazis certainly had more potential to be worse, and I'm not too well versed on the ancient Assyrians. What's your opinion on dual fluid nuclear reactors? I don't really have a strong opinion on dual fluid nuclear reactors. Wasn't Mao a really brilliant guerrilla commander? I mean, yeah. I feel like being a brilliant guerrilla commander doesn't necessarily make you like a general genius. You can be an idiot and still be pretty good at guerrilla warfare. You mean Zao the Dong? Zao the Dong. Aside from nuclear power, which you made a video on, is there any misunderstood tech you think gets an undue bad rep? All of it. All of it. But nuclear isn't a very tough bind in and of itself. I do think that actually, like, space exploration and shit gets a very bad rep. Which is weird because most people are like, hell yeah, space cool and stuff. But I don't think there should be a single person on the planet who doesn't think that space exploration is not the best thing ever. I especially hate, like, environmentalists who go, oh, we shouldn't be exploring space because we need to fix the problems on Earth first. It's like, no. Space exploration is how you fix the problems on Earth. Thank you very much. What sci-fi concept besides biological immortality are you most excited for? Probably VR, like full immersion VR. That's probably gonna be pretty cool. Stanley Parable, I haven't actually played through. Zombie, no, like mind control, like, you know, mind control. Isn't it fun to think that our generation or the next are the ones that will have to figure out all the crazy moral ramifications that's coming down the pipeline? I mean, every generation has to figure out a bunch of moral ramifications, but yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that we're gonna have to... Like, I did this video on the pedophile thing, where... Like, if you're an adult that has the technology to become a child, but still keep the mind of an adult... and you are with a pedophile, what's the questions there? If you have cognitive dampening, what's the, what are the consent questions there at some point? Because, I mean, you make the decision to become a child again as an adult, but then you are a child? Yes, there's some weird fucking moral questions are gonna have to be answered. Or it's this is one Isaac Arthur posed that this one wrecks my fucking brain. It's imagine, right, you're a rapist. And you rape someone, you plan a whole rape thing, and you rape someone, but then you exchange the hour of time where that happened of memories with that person. Legally, what even happens now? Because you're the person that was traumatized by your own plan. But the other person was still the one that was raped, but you have the memories. And they have the memories of committing the rape. You know what I mean? That is some... there's a bunch of really fucked up questions coming our way. Any personal goals, resolutions for 2020? Also, holiday season's great. You too, Sandra. Yes, I want to bring out my first actual novel in 2020. Publish it. Assyrians basically just sacrificed their nobility's children to the gods when things went bad, nowhere close to Nazi levels. Did you know there are people who think nukes aren't real? I did not know this. I am not surprised by it. Do you think civilization will make it to 2030 without collapsing? Definitely. Regarding the difficulty finding aliens, I think aliens are too alien to communicate with, or are we one of the very first civilizations? I think it's probably a variety of factors. I think it's it's obviously ultimately pointless to speculate on this, but I think that life is a lot rarer than we think it is. And I think there might be a method of communication that advanced civilizations use that we don't really have yet, right? Have you ever read either the Quran or Al-Bukhari? And also, yeah, of course I have read the fucking Quran. What's the wildest conspiracy theory you think would be interesting if true? Flat Earth. But it's the ice wall, and beyond the ice wall there's other civilizations. That would be the most interesting one. Yeah. What's a trope you enjoy and another you despise? And when it comes to tropes, it's pretty much always how they're pulled off. So there's... I'm actually drawing a blank on that right now. What do you think on the growing trend of DIY gene therapy and biohackers? How far do you think this can be taken? Oh, this will be taken very far. I'm not sure it's a good idea, but it's gonna happen. If you have the tech to implant memories, why would you not just delete the victim's memories and give the rapists back their criminal memories? Yeah, but what if, what if you also give them, the memories of having planned the thing? And then you would be overriding someone's memories who had not committed a crime that they had committed from the other... It's not that easy. What's our civilization's expiration date? That is an absurd question. Goop or male vitality? Both. Um, there's a documentary and everything. Some dude eats a spoonful of nuclear material, I guess, so I guess to prove it won't harm. That's pretty dumb. Scratch that. That's massively dumb. What do you think of women's rights? Okay, it's Brady. Okay. What do you think of AI rights? That's a different question. Yeah. It's also a difficult question because AIs don't necessarily function like humans. But if they did, they should have the same rights as humans. If catgirls become a thing, should they have rights? I mean, if they're people, yeah. Obviously. I love the infinite ice wall flat earth. It's just IRL Minecraft. Basically, yeah. Stupidest political ideology apart from anarcho-capitalism. Like, purely stupid? Or like, evil, bad? Because I think anarcho-primitivism is also very stupid. Getting implanted with the memories of all the harm you've ever caused other people in your lifetime. But what if you removed the memories of you causing that harm? Did you then really cause that harm? You know what I'm saying? Do you have to be a patron to join the studio part of the Discord? Yes, you do. What do you think of female AI rights? That seems like a troll question. If you were mentally ill and you uploaded your consciousness into a machine, would your mental illness stay with you? How much of your personality would be affected if it didn't? I mean, I'm not a neuroscientist, and I think neuroscientists know this, but probably like all of it. Otherwise, it wouldn't be an accurate copy. Would AIs having separate bathrooms be acceptable to you? Okay, that is definitely a troll question. And yeah, absolutely. Unisex bathrooms except for AIs. If we found an alien species or super advanced AI or something, what do you think should qualify as intelligent? That is a question that I cannot answer. Also, I'm getting my third beer. This one's actually very interesting. I'm super excited for it. Why am I kind of dizzy after drinking one can of beer? Yeah, it's 5.2% by volume. The other day, I fucking emptied half a bottle of schnapps. I didn't feel shit. This is hazelnut brown nectar. Okay. This one doesn't have flavor text. It's an ale with natural hazelnut flavor. It smells really good. Yeah, this smells really good. Holy shit. I'm not usually a big fan of like coffee. This has a certain coffee note. But damn, dude. This is delicious. Holy shit. This is very good. It tastes like hazelnut. It's something I like about these craft beers is that they will deliver flavors to you without excessive sweetness. Like I like soft drinks sometimes for flavor, but I feel like very often they're too sweet. So it's just that instead of putting flavor in them, they just put more sugar, which frankly I don't think is the right approach. Okay. If you were arrested, what would your ring name be? Damn, that's a dumb. I don't know. TheBurgerkrieg, I suppose. I'm feeling dizzy because why would I be dehydrated? We're going to get to the point where we are going to mentally reproduce into different AIs in the same physical body and have to answer when something gets rights. That'll be a fun quandary to tackle. Probably, yeah. Nice to catch while it's still live. What's the best book you've read this year? Is there any news on the January meetup? I still haven't planned the January meetup. I might have to do it in February. Which is bad because one of my fans hit me up and she's only going to be in Germany for January, which is... I'm going to Hamburg anyway, early next year for the best of reasons. But... yeah, I'm gonna maybe do some scouting then. It's the best book I've read this year. I've read like pretty much all of the Expanse series this year. I'd probably say that all of those are my favorite book. I like the one that I like the most out of all of them though, I think is Nemesis Games. So the fifth one. I've been given 24 random Belgian beers. I got the Blanche Bruxelles on the go. Favorite junk food? Difficult. Is pulled pork junk food? If your sex droid becomes sentient, are you retroactively guilty of rape? Oof. Are you responsible for their upbringing like a parent? Would you have to buy them a new body? Why would they become sentient? You wouldn't build them to become sentient. And it just doesn't just happen. You don't just have, like, the computer running long enough, and then some morning you wake up, and it's like, hey, how you doing, my man? I see you like fucking listening to blues music on Spotify, so I just download... No, that's not how that works. What do you think of the existence of Lolicon? I think it's fine that it exists. I think it probably avoids a lot more pedos diddling kids than it would have without it existing. And I personally am always for pedos not diddling kids. It's just a personal preference of mine. I also don't really see anything morally wrong with it because it's consenting adults. Anything that is consenting adults is fine. Yeah, it's children in Lolicon, but they're not, like, even based on real children. They're completely drawn. That being said, I still find it disgusting. What's the ideal combination of classes in a D&D party? An interesting one. Listen, I'm not gonna... you ask this so often. I have not read Philip Mainlander. A corporation would be worse. Okay, this is a different conversation. Do you ever just eat a head of lettuce? No. What's your favorite type of anarchism? Anarchism. Transhuman anarchism. Favorite strain? You already... no, somebody already asked favorite strain of weed. Portugal was a major player in the Age of Exploration. What if Portugal was still a world power? Then Portugal would still be a world power. What do you think commercial interplanetary colonization will be like? I personally think it'd be a bit like the American Old West, lots of independent settlements away from an infrastructure. It's difficult to colonize... like, you can just go to America in, like, the... you know, when they settled the Wild West. You can just go to America with an axe. Use the axe to kill whatever Native Americans were living on the land that you want. Then fell a bunch of trees, build a house, and that's how you do it. You don't need a lot of infrastructure to establish like a settlement on Earth. You do need infrastructure to establish settlements in space and other planets. So I think that it might have decentralized infrastructure, but it's gonna be a lot more difficult, even relatively speaking. Even if it might be a lot more comfortable, relatively speaking, at the same time. Elon Musk, genius or crazy? Will he the first to colonize space? We've already colonized space. We have a fucking space station. And Elon Musk is a crazy genius. How about that? I had a Reddit livestream go viral a while ago. And all I could think about was how weird it would be if all those 57k people actually here with me. Have you thought about that often? I try to avoid that thought. Favorite video game soundtrack? There's a bunch of good ones. I always switch between Skyrim and Witcher 3. Skyrim, especially like in like winter, when it's just tremendous. You go out on a walk at night and you just listen to like Secunda or Frostfall. It's damn. It's really good. Favorite thought? Now that is a troll question. Do you think the Cats movie was? I haven't watched the Cats movie, and I didn't know there was one even. What do you think of consumerism? I don't even think there is necessarily such a thing as consumerism. Favorite schnapps? I don't know if Mexicana counts as schnapps, but that. What are your thoughts on the religion that you weren't supposed to make? Well, you weren't supposed to fucking make it. Have you ever heard of the tree stump theory? I don't think I have. Have you ever heard your pee sucked while God damn, dude. Should have specified Earth-like planets, breathable atmospheres and stuff. Yeah, the point at which we can do that, I don't think the main drive for colonizing other worlds will be commercial. Because we'll already live in a post-scarcity society. They're very difficult to get to, these planets that we don't know if they even exist. The old, do you think at some point we will create an AI advanced enough to make humans redundant? Human race will have nothing to do and will regress back to primitive forms. I don't necessarily think that AIs will make humans redundant, because while AIs are exceptionally good at a lot of tasks that humans are not very good at, humans are very good at a lot of tasks that AIs, at least in the way that we operate. I mean, technically speaking, we are AIs. We're just not necessarily artificial. We are intelligences that run on different hardware. And different hardware also eventually, is suited to different tasks. Secunda is a fantastic track. Would you want to own a Cybertruck? No, but I don't really want to own a car. You ever play TF2? I used to. You like waffles? Fuck yeah. You already asked what I think about the lore of Mortal Kombat. Favorite thoughts? Also, why does YouTube censor it without the dashes? What the fuck? I don't know any thoughts. I don't know any thoughts. It's your favorite video game genre? Personally, a fan of roguelikes. I like turn-based strategy games. Have you seen the latest Kurzgesagt video? If yes, what do you think about the solar system as a spaceship? I haven't seen that video, but I do know the spaceship concept. I think that's a pretty good idea. I don't necessarily see why we would do it. But at the point at which we have like the technology to do engineering on that kind of scale, where we just turn the solar system into a spaceship, we might have a reason for that. How much money would it take to get Burger in the octagon? I'm not really interested in fighting people. Thoughts on transhumanism and its ramifications? You might as well ask, what are your thoughts on politics? That's... yeah. Favorite historical period? The future. Hopefully. Best Lord of the Rings Fellowship member? Gimli. Gimli all the way, my man. What is literally your favorite thing? You know what? I'm going to try and answer this. I'm going to try and answer this on laughter. Laughter is literally my favorite thing. Let's say superheroes and villains are real with actual powers. Would you support vigilantism to stop supervillains or prefer an organized system like police, or both? Obviously, I would prefer an organized system like police. Who's your favorite YouTuber that's not yourself? Difficult question. Also, I'm not my favorite YouTuber. I'm one of my least favorite YouTubers. Damn. I really like Chris Reagan. I really like Caroline Konsnar. I really like obviously Isaac Arthur, even though I haven't watched him in a while. Let's see what kind of. Let me look at my YouTube feed real quick, because I never remember these things. Fucking obviously Xeno. I really like Xeno. Half is interesting. I'm a big fan of. Also Alt Shift X. I really like Alt Shift X. And Kyle Kalinske. I'm a huge fucking fan of Kyle Kalinske. And obviously, you know, the very best YouTuber, Dr. Richard F-N. I love that. This is my favorite fucking thing. The trolling has gone so far that I'm now 11 subscribers away from the 25k. Lamb or chicken gyro? Chicken. Chicken all the way. Thoughts on politics? What are your thoughts on Andrew Yang? I like Andrew Yang a lot. I don't think he has a chance of winning. It's very important that he's a candidate, because he's introducing a lot of ideas into the public discourse and the Overton window that need to be talked about. What's the worst species to uplift? I mean, doesn't it kind of just stop being a problem? Oh, cool. Just received an actual good message that kind of been waiting for. Yeah. The spider in what? Thoughts on Bruno? I don't know who that is. Dolphins are assholes, but I think we could teach them good morals if we uplifted them. Preston, I don't like Preston Jacobs as much as I like Alt Shift X, frankly. You got preparations for Christmas. Yeah, Heinz. See you around, my man. What's the worst book you've ever read? I stop reading books when they're bad. So, like, I've had some books that I just stopped reading because I was like, this fucking sucks, dude. And I couldn't even tell you what the worst one of those was. I'm not going to make 25k. It's not going to happen. What's a better troll? Socrates or Nietzsche? Socrates, obviously. What's a rough list of things you consider when building a magic system? I'm not hugely into hard magic systems, so like Brandon Sanderson and fucking Shad Brooks probably are better people to ask this question. Lemmy or God? Lemmy, obviously. iPhone or Android? Nokia. I'm really tempted to try and get into politics to champion UBI, but also really don't want to get into politics because fuck all that shit. Basically how I feel. People have asked me to like, hey, do you at some point in the future plan on running for office in any capacity? And I'm like, no. Fuck no. Bruh, dolphins hunt their young, there ain't no saving that. You might have a point. Frankly, you might have a point. I think at 23, I'm gonna let in patrons and then maybe stream for another hour. And then not stream anymore. Send more questions. I require more questions. Favorite dragon? Like, the favorite kind of dragon? Because I like both the intelligent kind of dragon, but I also like they're monsters kind of dragons. But generally, when it comes to fantasy, I am not... Like, I don't dislike dragons, but they also don't have the same kind of... I don't have the same kind of fascination with dragons as other people. Like, I think they're cool, but I don't think they're the coolest thing ever. How much money would you have to spend to be paid to collab with Onision? I would collab with Onision for free, just if I could troll him. Holy shit. Smartest person you've ever met? I've met a lot of smart people. The problem with a lot of smart people I meet are idiots. And a lot of really stupid people I meet are geniuses. Like, I have very different... I think that there's a very, very wide array of criteria by which one can be intelligent. So, yeah. Favorite thing in Shadow? That's a difficult question, man. I like the package as such, I would say. Favorite YouTube channel? We talked about this. Favorite D&D monster? I can tell you my least favorite D&D monster. It's the fucking Mimic. It's boring, and I don't like it. It's like, oh, there's this thing, and it's not this thing. It's like, wow. How about you go eat an egg, you piece of shit? What makes a cool fantasy monster for you? It depends. Sometimes it's the aesthetics of it. I like the aesthetics. It depends on, I suppose, the context in which I meet it. Most of the time it's going to be the aesthetics, because I'm a very, like, aesthetically focused person. But when it comes to, like, meeting it in, like, an RPG, it has to be interesting. And it doesn't necessarily need to surprise me. It just needs to, I don't know, be cool, I guess? Philip K. Dick or Isaac Asimov? I prefer Philip K. Dick, but it's, I mean, you know. It's like saying, what do you like more, pasta or pizza? Like, I like them both. Favorite plant ever? My plant that I own. Any podcasts you enjoy listening to? Well, I really enjoy listening to Writing Excuses. Oh yeah, the podcast that I basically plug all the time, fucking Cumtown. That's my favorite fucking thing, favorite podcast. And I also like to listen to Chapo Trap House every once in a while. Favorite religion? The one where they worship Steve Buscemi, but he's gay. What's the absolute worst basic thing you unironically enjoy? Bad reality shows, shitty games, etc. Probably is something like that. And I could probably do a whole bit on it that would be funny. The problem is, I don't know. But there is a lot of like really just basic shit that Russian fucking car crash videos. There we go. Just dumb Russian video. But it's both the videos where the one just cuts off the other guy, and then then the other guy just pulls over, and not just pulls it, like, it fucking gets in pursuit, goes faster than the other guy, it makes him slow down, comes out with a fucking axe, and then the other guy comes out with a gun, that kind of thing. But also the ones where, they're driving, and then suddenly the road in front of them explodes, and they're triple black backflipped into fucking 3 roads down, and then they slide over the ice while a herd of moose that are mutated to shoot lasers out of their eyes try to destroy their car. And then they, at the end, they're just like the dash cam and the seat and the steering wheel, and they slither over a lake where literal Cthulhu itself tries to grab them with its tentacles. And then eventually, slowly, they come to stop in the middle of Chernobyl, and they go, bleh. And that's my favorite kind of fucking video. How about a mimic that's something unconventional, like a door or a lever? I know this question is a troll, but I hate you so much. Have you ever been to the Cloud District? I go to the Cloud District very often, my man. Have you ever built a conlang? No, I have not. I'm not really interested in conlanging very much. Why don't you like eggs? Because eggs are disgusting. The real reason is that I had severe food poisoning from eggs once, and that just fucking destroyed my taste in eggs. I think it's also the reason why I don't like asparagus. What other languages would you want to learn? Well, some of the more interesting ones for me right now, I think, are Arabic and Welsh. Irish, too. Yeah. Like, Arabic and Welsh, I would... But there's a bunch of languages that I would want to learn. I just don't have the fucking time. Well, the coming through the ugly truths and the awareness makes it a lot to do. What? Sound like young Henry Limpert. No idea who that is. Russian car crash videos are a form of high art. How dare you? They are a form of high art. Happy Christmas, Burger. Happy Christmas, Peter. Burger, you should grow a handlebar mustache. I should not. Have you thought of doing a video about Martin Luther? With interesting lives, I like to keep them, like, not very people that not a lot of people know about. Of course, Bob Ross and, like, Joan of Arc would be, exceptions, but I just find them interesting enough to merit a video of their own. Happy Christmas, Detupi. I see Japanese also. Yeah, I forgot about Japanese. The problem with wanting to learn Japanese is that if you go to a class, it's just going to be weebs or people that try to get you to learn the way of writing, which is dumb. And if you, that's the two kind. It's either too highbrow or it's just weebs, and I'm not a weeb. Have you ever been on the dark web? Now, for a moment, I was like, what, does he mean the deep web or the dark web? Because I've been to the deep web. I've also been to the dark web. But, like, just to look if it exists once. When I was younger, I was like, oh, this is super cool. And then it turns out it's boring as shit. What's your religion, Berg? I'm an atheist. If you were creating fantasy character of Donald Trump, what type of setting would you place him in? Well, fantasy setting, right? See you around, Chariot Rider. How much do you agree with Schopenhauer and You know how he had a lot of different opinions? That. Any Christmas and German traditions, Christmas related or otherwise, that might seem strange to foreigners. Yeah, we do presents today. A lot of people don't understand that, why we do that. We do presents on the 24th in the evening. What drug has given you the best trip? What's your, definition of a trip? Because if we're going to be very strict about it, the only drug I've ever taken that could give you a trip is LSD. So I'd have to say LSD. How do you agree with the politics? Which politics of Schopenhauer? Comes to language, which videos or pieces of entertainment would you, as a German native speaker, recommend for people trying to learn the language? I'm not into German media at all, frankly. I don't know. Good night, Hypermelon. What does a comfy day for burger look like? Okay. I'm gonna reveal something to you real quick. I've not been comfortable in years. Because I get up in the morning and I live in the space in which I work. And it's a very convenient thing to do. If I'm working and I feel like not working, I can do that. But if I'm not working and I feel like working, I can also do that. And the worst thing about that is that when I am not working, I always feel like I should be working because I could be working. So I have forgotten what it's like to be comfortable. And it's very unhealthy. It's something that I need to relearn how to do. But I don't think that's going to be very easy. I think Israel should join the EU. Israel is not in Europe. Does Germany have its own version of bogans and chavs? Yeah. But they're more like rednecks, right? They would have to be white. Because it's just poor people. In that case, like poor people maybe from Eastern Germany in the countryside. But mostly it's like Kanaken. Which I also sort of have been called in the past. But they're more like ghetto people. They're not like bogans. So Germany, do you speak any other languages fluently? Yeah, Spanish. And I wouldn't say I speak Catalonian fluently anymore. I used to. I'm glad I'm not the only one who had the experience of how boring the deep web is. Yeah. No, not the deep web, the dark web. The deep web is anything that isn't indexed on Google. Would you rather lose all your memories like Born or get vaporized but an exact copy of it materializes at the exact moment nearby? Fuck. Oh, damn. That's such a goddamn fuck. I'd have to choose the former because I don't want to die. Have a lazy day, Bergie. I can't. I have literally forgotten how to do that. What's your opinion on European unification? There's not going to be a unification. There's going to be a confederation. Is EU just Holy Roman Empire but by another name? No. Everything you read the other parts of... I did read the other part of Super Smash Bros. It's done. The Holy Roman Empire was not Rome. I'm about to actually get the headphones and get the patrons in like a minute. What part of Germany, if any, makes the rest of the country go, dude, what the fuck? Like the German equivalent of Florida. There's a bunch of them. So there's Bavaria, which is just brutally conservatively Catholic. There's the Saarland, which is incest. And then there's Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, which is tremendously racist. Just insane how racist those people are. Well, we don't necessarily have an exact equivalent of Florida. Maybe Berlin. Well, you watch the new Star Wars. Probably you mean Star Wars. Yeah, at some point I will. I haven't watched the one before this either. I just don't care about Star Wars anymore. Is Germany mostly Slavic? No. You think the Arab world needs a 30Y/W equivalent? What are you talking about? I mean, the sequels? There's other parts of Super Smash Bros. Like other... No, I don't believe that. That can't be true. Would you dab on a homeless person for 1,000 bugs? You can't give them any of it. Can I give them money beforehand? Because it's literally just doing this in front of them. For £1,000, yeah. Fuck it. Why is Swabby a meme, or is it at all? Oh, fuck, I need to get into the thing. How would you describe yourself politically? Probably the closest thing in like the current political universe would be a social democrat. Because I like me my markets, but I also like me my strong social system and protection of workers. And it's only Brady in the Patreon VC. That's cool. That's okay. That's fine.
As always.
Do you think CD Projekt Red should make Witcher 4? I would love to play Witcher 4. And I think anything CD Projekt Red touches is fantastic.
I have a bit of a delay, honestly, between your vid and you jump.
I think his sensitivity is a bit low. Just realized you're the first person who I consider supporting a Patreon solely because until now I hadn't realized it existed and it wasn't shoved in my face all the time. I try to shove it in people's faces. The thing about my Patreon is that I punch way above my weight. There's people who have like 10 times as many subscribers as I do. They don't make half of what I do. At the same time, it's been like shrinking, and I look at that with like a sweaty brow.
I'm not even going to bother getting that meme image. It'd be too easy.
Yeah. So like I still don't really have any problems, but I might at some point. But at the same time, I am now confident that I will always land on my feet. That's pretty nice.
It's actually quite amazing how high above your weight you punch, considering
it's insane.
Like who is the equivalent? I would say Corey Losers YouTube channel. He's got 18.8k subs, but he's a modder.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why people give him money.
It's crazy. See, I'm particularly interested in American media. Is it prominent in Germany, or is that's just your thing? No, it's just my thing. I'm not even interested in American media. I'm interested in American politics.
Doesn't tell me how much he gets.
What's the worst thing you would do for $100?
That's pretty loud. Yeah.
Oh, dude, you have something's wrong, Iron Front.
I think he just jumped in. That's all.
Okay. I don't. Ask me if I would do X for $100. Then we're in business. Heidelberg in Baden-Württemberg is, although Pfälzisch Germany is what?
Would you reinstate the Nazi Reich for £1 billion?
No. Hello, a random god. I don't think I've seen you before.
It's because he's just paid. The studio is higher.
Yeah, I know. I am aware of this fact. German. There's a German yuppie scene. There's a massive German yuppie scene. The Germany's hipster capital is Berlin.
What do you mean? It was Königsberg.
No. Social democracy channels neoliberalism with extra steps. It's not. And if you think that, then you don't understand social democracy. You just understand. You just have a bunch of social democratic parties that are essentially neoliberals.
Burger.
Yes.
What is your opinion on Philip Meinlander?
Oh my god. Was that you?
Have you ever read?
Fuck. I have not.
Now.
Have you ever considered reading The Philosophie of Erlösung?
No, I have not. You sound a lot better, Ironfront. You're a bit quiet, but I think I can manage that.
Okay, better than...
I very much recommend it. It was one of the most interesting reads I had in years.
Yeah, you don't sound like cracking nuts anymore, is it? I mean, I don't really read a lot of non-fiction. Because I need to read fiction for writing. Can you rap? Well, it depends on what you define as rap. I can rap to the same level as maybe G-Man.
Can you do the Pokemon rap?
I don't even know what the Pokemon rap is.
Okay,
Would you download a car for $100? Absolutely.
I find that so funny. It's like you wouldn't download or steal a car. It's like actually I would.
And people do. They have...
I wouldn't steal a car, but if I could copy a car, I would do it.
It's like
Well, you can
I would
3D
also
print most of the parts.
I mean, I'd also download a Spanish galleon like your video back then.
If you could give a drug to a person that can fix any physical problem, including brain damage, is there anyone you would deny giving this drug? No. Absolutely not. You cannot deny healthcare to people.
If someone did that and like you fixed like someone of Alzheimer's and shit who actually like was part of the Holocaust, like when you do that, it's no longer a problem to punch them in the face.
It's also, it's a matter of principle that you cannot deny healthcare to people. It is a basic human right. You cannot...
Up in China.
You cannot deny basic human rights to people. You can't do it.
Social points.
One barrel bomb at a time. I would disagree.
Should Istanbul become Constantinople again? I actually prefer Istanbul. Would you rather work a boring office job for $100 or fast food retail for $100? Probably fast food retail because I could interact with people.
Also, there's a better chance of like seeing the public freak out.
Oh yes, dude.
But not only that is that like a public freak out like at McDonald's is just see a bunch of people yelling and fighting and throwing fries. A public freak out at an office is somebody coming in with a gun and it's shooting everybody.
This is a great question. Would you paint your penis gold and place it where a door handle should be, and wait for someone to try and open the door for £100?
That sounds. It depends who answers that door, because they could be quite aggressive.
I mean, I would almost do that for the meme.
I think for some of us, somebody would say, "Hey, who took the door handle off?"
Damn.
So it just rips it off. Like you get some big burly guy just.
It's a small dick joke.
Yeah.
What is the most poignant lesson you ever learned, and how did you come to learn it? I don't really remember that, but it was probably very poignant.
Have you ever read?
I can remember mine.
Murray Rothbard.
I've read very little nonfiction. Could we make the word like Denmark, since you said both communists and capitalists love Denmark? Yeah.
I thought Norway was objectively better though, in terms of system.
It's a difference. Comparing Norway and Denmark is really, what's the point at that point? It's like comparing penne to macaroni. Can I have back my patron badge for the stream? Why do you not have a patron badge? You should have a patron badge if you're a patron. I mean, as far as I know, $100 isn't valid currency in Germany, so we shouldn't do anything for it. I could go to the bank and say, hey, could you give me this in euros? And they'd say, yeah. We live in a globalized world, my man.
We live in a period.
Live in a society.
Rap like Brett Keane. Okay, this is most people are just not gonna get this at all. But I'm gonna try and rap like Brett Keane. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is Brett Keane's situation. Just rapping like an individual with the chili that doesn't got no cheese. My wife Dawn is no, I can't do it. I don't think it's possible to do. Maybe Paul could do it. Ask Paul to do it.
It sounds like you're trying to rap at a buffet, and you're just like you're just guzzling gravy while trying to rap.
That is how Brett Keane would probably rap, yes. Are lazy people real, or there's just issues with the mental, physical that prevent them from working as much as others? There's probably some lazy people, yeah. If you had the choice to gain immortality, would you take it? Probably.
Of course.
Yeah.
Even if I had to sacrifice 1,000 people.
I would not.
I wouldn't do that if I had to sacrifice 1,000 people, no.
I would not take immortality.
I'm not as morally or ethically inclined as most people in this Discord.
What are your thoughts on climate change? How bad do you think it's going to be? I think there's a bunch of Hail Marys that we can use when it gets really bad, and I think that that's going to happen. But I think it's going to get a lot worse before it gets worse. Yes, Ironfront, please.
Wait, for that previous question, could these be 1,000 possible people that could have become people if I hadn't spunked into a tissue?
Are you suggesting using a condom?
I'm suggesting that those 1,000 people that I would sacrifice for immortality would just they would be people. They just don't exist because I masturbated instead of creating.
That's what.
I'm trying to see if I can use.
I would level a Syrian
to gain the
village just to be
system,
immortal.
I'm trying to find a loophole.
Let's not dance around my ethics.
Could the Vikings have colonized the Americas? Well, they clearly didn't, so...
They tried and got beaten the shit out of because it was pointy sticks.
Yeah, they
were...
Well, they mostly tried killing the natives. And...
They had like one temporary trading outpost, and that was basically it.
Yeah.
Would you rather have sex with a greasy 500-pound, 110-year-old guy or have sex with a female goat?
What is a goat?
I'd rather.
How would a 110-year-old guy be 500 pounds? How?
Technology, I suppose.
That's a stain.
He's more machine than man.
I always say, I fucking hate these either-or questions where both options are terrible, but like I think that's kind of the point.
Catholic missionary or Protestant missionary?
Oh, because you're in Minecraft. No, you're in Minecraft prison, Guderian. You don't get to come out and play. Remember who Brett Keane is. I don't think a lot of people do. Release your taxiderms, we will know your connections to big asparagus. Happy Christmas, Burger. Haha.
Get raped by the Pope or Muhammad.
Remember, folks, it's
the current Pope would
Christmas
probably be
and
very
happy
gentle.
Holidays.
Would he though?
Yeah, it's like a secretly a quiet girl. The rest of the stream ongoing. See you around, better name. Which YouTuber that was normal to know in the past is now the weirdest? Remember who? Oh Jesus.
Remember who they are.
What? I'm not sure I understand the question, and I also wouldn't know how to answer it.
I guess some of the...
I'm trying to translate that.
Do you miss the days of YouTube atheism? It was a simpler world.
YouTuber atheism basically was the prototype stage of what we have now.
It was
Jesus' father get cucked.
It was so nice because it was just atheists were actively being discriminated against in the United States. They had good points, they had good takes. It was the amazing atheist golden age. You could make just actual philosophical arguments on YouTube, as basal as they were, with still a thing. And then what happened was that the fucking atheism community kind of split and morphed into like the SJW and anti-SJW communities. And then it began a lot of with like just politics and a lot of this person is gay and stupid. And then now that community is kind of splitting again into the left wing and the right wing new YouTube communities.
It's almost coming full circle, isn't it? It's like
yeah.
One party or the other, just like your old great grandfather. Because it was like great grandmother, because she wasn't allowed to vote.
Would you rather be captured? Would you rather be captured by ISIS or the Sinaloa cartel? Dude. Oh! I mean, I speak Spanish, so I suppose the Sinaloa cartel.
But I mean, joining ISIS, you could just, you know.
Actually, yeah, no, I've seen some videos. No, it might actually be ISIS.
I mean, you would just do random shit. Like,
yeah, I could convert to Islam and join ISIS. Yeah. No, I don't want to get into the hands of the fucking Sinaloa cartel.
Just join ISIS and
give me a brief rundown.
Fucking seriously, it's so fucked up what they do to people.
It is, yes.
Would you willing to?
Also,
yes.
But also, you know, they rent like 6-star hotels and make some like suicide squad parties before killing themselves. It's pretty fun, you know. And also red goats.
You're just
a happy New Year.
You know, it's pretty fun. Been there a few times.
Been there a few times.
At the suicide party.
It's my go-to place, you know.
Would you willingly replace any limbs with robot parts, even if it was still fully functioning? Personally, I'd get robot arms. I'm more of a fan of like genetic enhancement, but that's just because I think
if I lose the hand,
robot
I'll
arms
replace the machine one. But I'm not actively lobbing it off to replace
I'd still prefer to have it regrown, frankly. Which famous YouTubers we're to remember have weird phrasing? Fucking Ray William Johnson.
I'd like my skeleton to be replaced, though, with something a bit more durable.
Hell yeah, like a fucking graphene-lined titanium skeleton.
Yeah, man.
Indestructible.
Because let's face it, back pain is like a bitch.
Yeah, but most of back pain comes from your muscles. Let's be honest there.
Like, I would have enhancements and shit, like, as long as I still look like I do. I say that, you know, coming from someone who's like, oh, meme the cat girls. I kind of just went, no, you don't, Brady. You liar. I still want to look organic.
Meanwhile, you got some old Christian lady in middle America with metal hip, metal back, metal everything, taking 40 pills a day, saying, we were intelligently designed.
Say metal and you summon the metalhead. What's up, guys?
She was, though.
Yeah. She was intelligently designed as a Lada.
Would you be fine with conscription? No.
Yes.
I am not suited to serve in the armed forces. I have a massive problem with authority.
I think limited conscription is a good idea.
I think civil service, not just conscription. Like, so like instead of like just going into the military, you could choose to, you know, work at like the library or.
We had that in Germany. That was pretty cool. I do think that's a good idea.
Yeah, so it's like instead of it's like if you want to go into the military, you can, but there's other options like the forestry service, library, stuff like that. I think that's a good compromise, especially for people who can't.
The problem with that in Germany was that it deprecated the value of a lot of very important professional fields, like in healthcare especially, because you just have these TVs going to old people's homes and stuff, and so they would cover a part of the labor market for qualified healthcare professionals in the just straight up caring field, like nurses and shit. So that was a very real economic problem that came with that.
Don't give him the super.
Still has conscription. Fuck conscription.
Well, I mean, don't give him like the vital market jobs. Like have them be like orderlies or receptionists. Stuff like.
Yeah, but then they learn nothing.
I think children should learn self-defense.
They get on the job to training,
and that every child at some point must have a week where they pick shit off the floor, and in the same sense that when you the prisoners sometimes do. It's let's ground into the mind of people to stop fucking littering.
Out of curiosity, when we're talking conscription, are we also talking the draft or just as conscription in general?
We're talking about conscription in general because the draft is a very different beast, I think.
The draft is why America lost the Vietnam War, because it made people unsupportive. How unlike now, where you've got people who actively join the army and are fighting in the random fucking countries, it's no one really cares because everyone signed up for it.
Yeah, but we also got the problem where we treat our vets like shit.
Oh, that's
and there's also the problem which I experienced firsthand, where your recruiter will say whatever the fuck they need to say to get you to sign on the dotted line.
I have heard that one before.
Oh yeah, they'll
fucking.
It's like oh yeah, you could train for any job you want. You can go to any
I would
place in
deliver
the world.
Brexit, Star Citizen.
There's a good question in here. Would you travel back 500 years and live like a king, or live like you do today with modern amenities?
Live like today.
100% live like today. Not even a question.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't understand the language 500 years ago, because England's a fucking mess.
Let's assume you.
I mean, even if I did.
Burger, I'll post a link to the Atlantic article later, but that tree stump theory is based on a YouTube video by this Russian guy called "There Are No Forests on Flat Earth," and it presumes that many years ago, all the real trees died in an apocalypse or were knocked down, and that the only remnants we have of them are the Giant's Causeway and Devil's Tower in Wyoming and the Grand Canyon, where the Grand Canyon is the remains of the uprooting of a giant tree, and then Devil's Tower and Giant's Causeway are the stumps
Wait, I
of
actually
giant
heard
trees.
that.
Yeah, it's this really crazy. It's the craziest, but also the most fascinating flat Earth theory I've heard.
There was this one person that I saw, this was years ago, that had several 60-minute videos on how all rocks used to be not necessarily people, but living beings. And then she would show pictures of rocks that looked like things. And that was her... and it was just, look at this. You're hot micing again, Priest.
Sorry, let me turn down my volume.
So she basically read the instruction manual for Super Mario Brothers.
In essence, yes.
Okay.
Alright, we doing better now?
Yeah,
this is more likely to happen. Star Citizen is finished and releases or the second coming of Jesus happens. That's a very difficult question.
Star Citizens. I don't know.
Star Citizen factually exists, though, so...
It does.
I mean, we're living in the world of Half-Life 3, guys. Anything's possible at this point.
I hate that they didn't call it.
They
They decided to make another Half-Life game. Why not just make Half-Life 3?
Because
Why?
they probably have Half-Life in the
Speaking
pipeline
of
as well.
500 years ago, 1520 is when Martin Luther was active. So that'd be an interesting time to be. You say something controversial. He's a heretic.
This rock looks like The Rock. Yeah.
I mean, we have kind of the same thing with heretics and cancel culture right now.
Bansel Bulcher, more like.
Cancel culture is cancelling itself because they tried to cancel a fucking week.
More like incel culture.
Tourette's. Oh, girl.
Oh, yeah.
Implode on yourself.
Yeah, wasn't there a girl who had Tourette's who said a bad word on
Yeah, it was. Fuck. What's her name?
Sweet Anita.
Sweet Anita. Yeah, I follow her on Twitter. That pissed me off so much.
Guys.
But she said the N-word on stream, and she has fucking Tourette syndrome. She has coprolalia, and it was such a hilarious moment too, because she has this new necklace. And she holds it up to the camera. He goes like, "Oh, do you know what this is? I'm trying to be pretentious here." And then, Chad, you know what this is? It's a nigger, and it's so fuck. And it's like, and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. You're all bitch," because she has the American accent when she fucking the Tourette's, which is very common for coprolalia, and people got legitimately mad, and that just reinforced the tick. And now she's afraid to have a conversation with her father, who is black, because the tick will happen. Because people hate her for being disabled. Literally, they hate this woman for being disabled, and that pisses me off.
Yeah, man.
But don't you know, Burger? The only reason you would ever say the N-word is if you use it outside of that situation. So obviously you're a racist.
Well,
Like, I have Tourette syndrome.
It's like,
I know. I'm
just the American accent when she does it. It means it was picked up from an American. So what's actually racist here?
It's
see, Burger. I'm playing the retarded devil's advocate.
yeah. No, I'm aware of that.
As a Californian liberal, let me tell you.
It's so fucked up.
Infuriating.
And she basically, I think she stopped streaming for a while because she knows that she's just gonna say it.
Well, it's the same people who like look at Young Crypt and Ricky Berkowitz.
Oh,
And they say,
fucking!
like, oh, they're like, oh, those are bad disabled people.
I
examples
fucking
of
love
disabled
Donovan, man. He recently did this video where it's like,
well, if you were a Rage Against the Machine fan,
he speaks way better than this, by the way. I'm trying to do his voice. If you were a Rage Against the Machine fan in 2007, there's a lot of people saying I was such a real fan that I cut myself. But if you really were an actual Rage Against the Machine fan, you fucking killed yourself. I love that guy so much. Oh, he's my favorite person on Twitter.
The way he hits the punchline is just.
He has such amazing delivery.
And you know it was great when you hear in the background, Donovan.
It's when his mother gets.
Yeah, it's when he hits it so hard that.
Oh my god, I love that guy so
Donovan!
much.
Jesus, what's that guy's name again? Because I gotta look this guy up.
It's Donovan Crip Daddy. I'm gonna link his Twitter in chat. It is
go by,
so
like,
good.
Young Crip, now he's Crip Daddy.
Yeah.
Him and Ricky are both just I love.
I don't enjoy Ricky that much comedically because most of what he does is just the fucking flicking.
Oh,
his
it's gross
tongue
out.
thing.
Yeah, it's gross out humor.
I fucking love this guy so much, man.
Oh, hey, Burger, did you see the meme that got me accused of being an agent of Big Asparagus in the chat?
I'm sorry, what? You've been accused of being an agent of Big Asparagus?
Yep. I'll show you. Here, let me just get my phone out and post the meme again for you.
Your disability is racist. Basically that.
Yeah.
God, I rarely. Oh yeah, I've seen this one. I get so fucking mad when I hear about that.
Oh, what was the other? There was another example where there was like I think it was on Fox or MSNBC, where the host was a black conservative and he was talking to this activist for women of color and stuff, and she was going on, and he was basically saying like, well, I managed everything I've managed to do. I never felt that my skin color was a hindrance. And she said, well, of course not. You're white. And she kept going on about how he's white. She's like, and the dude was like, I don't know how much you've been prepped for this, but I'm black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is my favorite thing happened in this regard when I think it was Lil Wayne who was like, I've been in this rap game for a long time, and then I go out to this concert stage, and it's like almost all white kids, and I'm like, hell yeah, this is beautiful. This is, white people loving my people music. We're all the same people, and I don't feel discriminated against in the music business. And then people got so fucking mad at him because his personal experience wasn't one of racism. And it's like, if your personal experience doesn't match up with what we have decided your personal experience is as a person of color, you have no right to publicly speak about it. Because you're not an individual, you're just an extension of your race.
What do you mean your reality is different from mine? How dare you?
Fuck!
Yeah.
So this is why I reject everyone's reality and insert my own.
I think you mean substitute my own, my man.
I know what I said.
I don't wait a sec. I don't disagree with the outrage around the girl with Tourette's, but generally that type of thing shouldn't happen with therapy. You cannot therapize coprolalia out of someone with Tourette's syndrome. You cannot therapize Tourette's syndrome out of a person. There is no therapy for Tourette's syndrome.
It's the brain literally like disconnect from what you do, and it just sends the signals to the targeted body parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It bypasses your executive functions in the prefrontal cortex.
A bit like anarcho-capitalism.
Sorry, what?
You said bypasses executives, and it's like, all those checks, just ignores them. It's like,
hell yeah, dude. I'm mixed. I get shit like that a lot. People talk about the black experience a lot, but refuse to acknowledge that it's not one singular thing, and that I'm not considered black enough, which is gay. Yeah, I mean, I like the fact that your name is stock art white man too.
Funny story, don't know if I've said it before, but there was a moment where my autism and not being connected with the wider world in general, but my grandmother from a side of family I very rarely see now, would say, don't say, the pack it in, and it's like, don't say that packies come in ships, not on cans, sort of shit.
Mm.
And I said that at school, and I almost got beaten the fuck out of. Fortunately, half of the mob that wanted to kill me also knew I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was fucking racist.
Okay, you're fine again. You were for a minute there.
Sorry, I'm right now. I'm driving through a Walmart parking lot, so I'm like moving my mic up and down so you don't hear all the traffic.
Genuinely, you always tune in from the best places, man. Yeah, I'm at a McDonald's in fucking Kansas. Parking lot.
Well, I'm driving from Fort Worth, Texas to Amarillo, Texas right now, and I just realized that Walmart closes at 6.
Are you not at home for Christmas?
No, I volunteered to stay out because they pay us extra.
Damn.
To stay out. I don't mind it. I don't have any family, so.
There was a black girl that has decided that she won't do concerts anymore because the majority of her audience is white. She doesn't want to entertain white people. Well, I suppose that's her loss, right? That's her choice to make as an entertainer.
that's a case of like on one side you have capitalistic profit, on the other you're an idiot.
Yeah. I mean, if that's what her moral fucking principles are, then go for it. Completely her right to do that. Dumb business move. Also racist, but it's her right to do that.
I think it's funny when people think you can't be racist to like white people, which is why I always stereotype different nations' nationalities at work constantly. It's like, technically, I'm not being racist when I say all Germans want to Anschluss half of Poland.
Want the Anschluss Austria.
I mean, it's also somewhat based in truth. I mean, the moment a German gains power, they go mental.
Oh, come
I
on.
mean, it's
dude, it's not just the Germans. You've also got the Russians. Don't forget.
Well, the Russians got crazy because of some German philosopher like fucking always. I mean, social economic,
I
but
think
still.
Russia is more of like defensive paranoia, so they just have to constantly push east.
Russia is the one country that doesn't need to have defensive paranoia. Israel needs to have defensive paranoia, because you could basically piss across the whole country. Russia, you can have
the thing
hundreds
is, like,
of kilometers of just burnt earth.
When you look at Russia on a map, half of what you see is just trash, like useless land that's just covered in ice. Like, the important stuff is the shit they lost when they collapsed as the Soviet Union.
Poland is another country that needs to worry.
Poland is like there's a reason Poland's still in that 2%.
Chappelle didn't stop doing the Chappelle show for the same reason. Chappelle knew he was attracting racists to his show and had doubts about whether he wanted to do the kind of jokes that he was doing if actual white nationalists were using him as like in his comedy as arguments. That's not the same thing. He didn't stop because he didn't want to entertain white people.
Speaking of like jokes where people throw a hissy fit, Ricky Gervais got in trouble for like a trans joke, and I'm like, these people would not like Frankie Boyle at all.
Oh, Frankie Boyle has become super woke, man.
Dude, I fucking love Frankie Boyle.
He's never given a fuck.
What was the joke though?
I've forgotten what it was, because to be honest, it wasn't that good. He's done many better ones, but it was more or less like, who gives a like the essence of it is just like, who cares if like women or men want to use like women's toilets or something daft.
Honestly, my favorite.
Chappelle said he realized the wrong people were laughing at his joke. Yeah, and that doesn't mean white people. Chappelle's not fucking racist.
Well, of course Germany has more inhabitants than the whole Balkan countries, because the Balkan countries keep bombing each other.
Hey, so the batteries die on my headset, so I'm gonna go ahead and take off. You guys have a Merry Christmas.
You too, my man. Have fun.
Yep, later.
Burger, as a social democrat, would you rather live in a very, very free market country or more a socialist country?
What, more socialist than what?
More socialist than free market. I mean, like.
Well, yeah, obviously, I want to live in a country that's more socialist than a free market.
Okay, so like from the standpoint of like Germany in the current year.
Oh, so. I think probably, yeah, I would like a bit more socialism in Germany. I would like, or rather, I would like the socialism that we do have applied properly. Mostly, I would like to have less neoliberalism, frankly. But here's
a question: your current West German anthem or the East German anthem?
I don't care about the anthem. The only anthem I care about is the Australian national anthem, and by that I mean Down Under.
Just want to note that the Germans stole the anthem from the Austrians.
Heinrich Hoffmann von Fallersleben was not Austrian.
It was our anthem. God. It was the Kaiserlied.
It literally says Deutschland, Deutschland über alles.
I mean,
It's not my fault you wanted to keep your fucking Hungarian bitches.
Isn't Austria part of, like, isn't the whole
Austria is
German
rightfully part of Germany. Let's be straight about that.
Anschluss, please, thanks.
Oh god, not again.
I mean, I do have
Anschluss
to say, I'm not against the Großdeutsche Lösung.
You were against the Großdeutsche Lösung?
I am not against it.
I mean, at this point, it's not no longer it's not a discussion that's relevant to current politics. But I like making fun of Austrians for it.
For what?
For being like special snowflakes.
For being undeservedly sovereign.
Yeah, being special snowflakes. Submit Anschluss.
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
I think that sovereignty is something negative
thank you.
per se, but
I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
I'm just saying there's no reason for an autonomous Austrian state versus Germany, if we're being honest.
I mean, let's face it, all of Europe should unite just without the United Kingdom.
Yeah, and then we invade. Yeah. Boom!
Yeah, sure, that all of Europe's tried that.
Wrecked! Wrecked!
Let's be honest, United Kingdom is barely European in the first place.
Well, that's why we've had the massive dispute. It's because most people don't identify as quote-unquote European. You can have London. I don't give a fuck. London.
But do you think unifying Europe? Do you think that like the northern countries of Europe would be able to hold up the very weak economies of the southern Europe countries?
What you do, here's what the trick is, right? This is something that you do is you develop the economy of the countries that have a shit economy. That's what you fucking do.
Yeah, the problem is, I mean, coming partially from Southern European countries, family-wise, there is an actual mentality problem. Also, banks in Southern Europe they just do shit.
The problem, like, I can tell you where the mentality problem comes from.
Bet the entirety of the money that people have given them and just bet it on shit. Then they wonder, huge.
It's not just fucking Italians lazy. It's that like all those countries are extremely corrupt. And something that you see from people who come from corrupt countries is that they will just fuck other people over because that's the only way you can survive in those kinds of countries. So when they come to a country with a functional social system, they have no qualms about trying to trick the government and taking money from the government because their perception of the money that they get from the government isn't this is money from other people, from fellow taxpayers and citizens that is there to support me, but this is money from the corrupt government that's trying to fuck me over anyway. And that's a huge part of the problem that Southern Europe has.
How do you solve that?
You get rid of the corruption. That's a very difficult thing to do, but it is...
How do you do that without interfering with sovereignty?
You interfere with sovereignty. That's how you do it.
That is against
very basics of European philosophy. Southern European countries.
It's not like the people would dislike that. It's not like the people... Oh no! The average worker in Spain...
High corruption, the people themselves do not care who rules over them as long as they're not killing them.
It's like, the average Spaniard is not gonna go, oh, I wish the fucking rich people in my town could still pay to be able to get public works projects to line their own pockets that are then of low quality. It's
why the EU will not support Catalonia independence, because they're just as corrupt and they know it.
Catalonia is not half as corrupt as the rest of Spain, let's be fucking honest here for a moment.
Yeah.
Everyone knows the best part of Spain is Gibraltar.
I agree.
Man, I never hear anyone talk about Spain. What is going on over there? Like, I know about the whole Catalonia thing, but that's all I know.
A nation that was once ruled by a dictatorship and it suddenly became democratic.
Well, the thing about Spain is that it's
Europe, basically.
Composed of a lot of different countries. A lot of different like cultural regions also. I mean, it has 4 official languages.
I don't feel smart enough for this conversation.
I mean, I laugh, but I live in the United Kingdom where there is probably more than 4 languages.
You also have like a bunch of different languages, but I mean, there's a Scottish, there's a Welsh independence movement, there's an Irish independence movement that worked,
and then that one that didn't.
Yeah.
But might work in future. Just fix the fucking border, God. Jesus fuck.
Ordered a pizza last year and it hasn't come yet.
In general, I am always, for decentralization. So
Merry Christmas, everybody. I'm going to go to bed.
Good night.
Okay.
I mean, this is like 15 more minutes, and then I'm also going to stop.
And I'm wondering when I can join the conversation. It's a big sad.
I think...
Just dig in.
Like,
all right, I'll try.
Global government is not wrong, but it's how it's introduced or what kind of government it is that's over everyone.
Global government is a huge fuck up.
Most likely, we already have it by a combination of the World Banks and World Trade screwing over developing countries.
That is essentially true, yeah.
You need a head system that can turn around and say, actually, no, you can't do that. That's an abuse of human rights.
That's basically that's the biggest argument for a global government, is that if we don't get a global government capable of regulating global markets, we will just have a global government that is the global markets.
That's in Amazon.
President Bezos presiding.
Where they FedEx you into an early grave.
Which is why it's so dumb that like free market capitalists are complaining about the globalists, because exactly this neoliberal corporate philosophy is the thing that is creating a world government. It just doesn't call itself a world government.
It's the neoliberal corporate philosophy.
Sending nukes with prime shipping.
Lots of world government. Let's go.
Who's ready for the world war between Amazon and Google?
What about Disney?
Disney is just...
Disney would be the Switzerland.
Disney just buys the moon and makes it to look like the fucking Mickey Mouse using slave labor.
I honestly think that one of the biggest problems in current market is that the government, I mean, looking at it from a very capitalist perspective right now, I know some anarcho-capitalist artists, and they would say that the problem is the following. The state has that much power that big corporations are able, because the government is dependent on the taxes these big corporations
got rid of the government.
They don't pay taxes.
No, they do.
No.
Maybe they don't as much as they should, but there's always someone getting taxes. That is also a problem of raising taxes. They might just piss off and pay the taxes otherwhere where it's the case. And also, I don't think there's an actual solution to that, because once again, exactly. But that would interfere with sovereignty, and that is something that I find immoral. I'm German, sorry. That I think is very, very moral on the basics of anything. I mean, cunt and God knows who. Interfering with the sovereignty of independent states or entities is wrong.
Right. Even if you don't have a global government or have anarchy, in fact, if you don't have any government whatsoever,
but no,
will make a state, and then they will interfere with everyone's sovereignty.
But
all
they
around
don't
them.
pay taxes. That's the biggest problem. The reason that politicians do the bidding of corporations is because they privately get money from them. It's not the government that gets that money. It's the fucking politicians that run the government.
Will probably not win because he
That's why, Pete Buttigieg is
fucking Pete Buttigieg is genuinely just a CIA agent. I'm not even joking. That guy just is a CIA agent.
He's politician supreme.
It's like they bought him at the politician store. That's what Pete Buttigieg is.
He was the last option as they went down the row of Joe Biden, who melted, and Kamala Harris, who left, and down to Pete Buttigieg, who was young enough, smart enough, and enough of a corporate slave that he got 5th place.
But he's also gay, so that's good.
You want to know what will happen if Andrew Yang somehow, by some miracle, won? He would be assassinated.
100%.
I guarantee it.
God. Don't say that. My Yang Gang spirit.
Why would he then?
I love the Yang Gang. I love the Yang Gang. You're not gonna win, but I think it's very important that you exist.
Unironically, why would he be?
I championed him on Twitter.
Why?
It's great. It's so
Why would
That's like a sweet thing to say to someone.
The problem is he sounds too good, so people won't vote for him.
Why was Kennedy assassinated?
Perfect. And I've talked to everybody I know,
Because
and they're
he
like,
didn't
"Yeah,
like
I
the
love
CIA."
$1,000."
Like,
Mainly because I also explained to them the tax plan that will get them $1,000, but after they hear that, they're on board.
But I genuinely believe America is in its decline stage.
Oh man, this person died on their birthday. That's neat.
It's a pretty.
I'm working at the funeral home, by the way. Sorry, guys.
oh.
I'm not at
So
home.
you work at a funeral home?
Yeah.
How many of you? How many of you? We know you have. Don't lie.
I work with SIs, suicidal inpatients at the hospital. So none. I've thought about it.
I mean, they're already suicidal. Why not?
Thought about suggesting my place of work to some people, but I'm not ever gonna do that because that would be terrible thing to do.
You're not convincing us that you haven't.
Much more compassion than that.
You're giving them a reason to live.
Yeah, that's what I actually try and do, like, you know, my actual job, but it's just, I just find it ironic.
I could not convince someone not to off themselves. I'm too much of a cynic. It's like, look, do it now or don't do it at all.
I've done it a
Or
few
read
Don't waste our time.
Definitely do it.
I don't know why,
Nice.
but I sort of, Lord Crafty, I sort of had you imagine, like, as an investigator, like, at the crime scene, you look through the personal file, and you're like, oh, you're standing over the dead body. Oh, he's died on his birthday. That's neat.
Out of curiosity, the German dude who was talking earlier, right?
Me?
I'm like, you were saying that, like, messing with basically any country's sovereignty is what you would consider immoral, right? Now, I don't completely disagree with that. I'm just curious about where you stand on the idea of interfering with, I guess you could call less than moral nations that treat their civilians, shall we say, poorly, such as
ISIS.
North Korea, the Saudi regime, etc.
ISIS.
Well, the Saudi regime is very near the Quran and the Sharia. And
ISIS.
looking at it from a well, ISIS is not a legitimate state.
Well, I mean, the
treat
thing
it
that
like
makes
it
a thing a
is.
legitimate state is that people say it's a legitimate state. That's what makes a legitimate state.
Yes, exactly.
So that's a
Taiwan
completely
exists.
arbitrary line.
Hong Kong
Well,
should
not
be
entirely.
free.
Aha! Israel must
ISIS has no
freedom
interest
then.
in trading with any other countries except maybe other extremist Islamic countries.
no,
So,
no,
I mean,
no,
there's not exactly a
ISIS
future for them.
ISIS do want to trade with other countries. They want to send you the heads of the severed victims.
Well, that is not
Trade with-
exactly a trade I would get into.
Toyota lands.
Speak for
Yeah,
yourself, young man.
Imagine, like, do they actually buy those Toyotas? Like, it.
But
So
like,
I'm a
there's a
pragmatist, and I'm
different.
like,
That
that's
leads
pretty
into a
good
different
profit, 'cause
question.
they're gonna get
though.
destroyed.
That leads into a different question. What if isn't the fact that is it legitimate country also a sovereign country?
Nah, man. UK is a lie. It's a fake country, man.
Because if the legitimacy of a country is literally determined by other countries, is there really such a thing as a sovereign legitimate country?
Not exactly other countries, but relationships in general. I mean, everything is determined by its
Byzantium
relationships
does
to other
actually
things.
still exist according to the entire EU4 community.
Again?
When you look at it, it's all like the generalization of human emotion and how the brain categorizes things to different people. You're gonna have different emotions about things, and if people have similar enough emotional states, then they'll all claim that it's real when, you know, there's really no foundation other than that just like yes or no, it's not.
I think countries recognize countries for anything than cold hard realpolitik, but you know.
Wow.
Well,
I mean,
looking at it like that, no state is actually legitimate. It was all built by barbaric behavior. Basically, the only reason states exist in the way they do is because, you know, there's a benefit to it. There's a benefit to being in a social society, obviously.
I feel like you're taking your first steps into geopolitics.
You know, it's just an expression problem with English.
Nah, he just speaks German primarily.
Yeah.
No, yeah, there's just a it's beneficial to organize in a structure, yeah.
Exactly, and ISIS does not exactly provide a lot of benefit.
But that's
to those who serve
that's
ISIS.
an arbitrary standard, though, because North Korea also doesn't provide a lot of benefit, yet it's a sovereign nation.
It does to, you know, the top people who sit in the government.
Yeah, but the top people of ISIS also get to fuck, so it provides benefits to some people.
I mean, look, honestly, to those who serve...
North Korea legit?
For those who serve in ISIS because they believe in Islam, very much so, like it is written in the Quran, it does provide... It does.
Because people who worship Islam don't all universally support ISIS.
Well, because they don't actually believe in Islam. That is, I think, the biggest problem.
Well, they don't believe in the Wahhabi interpretation of Islam, which that's where it all comes full circle. Is the problem with Islam is Wahhabism, and the people who support Wahhabism are the Saudis, because the Saudis are legitimized through Wahhabism, and the United States supports the Saudis, and that is why ultimately the United States is at fault for all of the fucking terrorists.
You see, that is the one point in history I would change. The Sykes-Picot Agreement. Actually give that guy the sovereignty that he wanted over Arabia, because he was less of a fucking loon than the Sauds.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you just hired a terrorist organization to get rid of the terrorist organization, to hire a terrorist organization to get rid of that terrorist organization, to continue ad infinitum.
Big brain.
Seriously, dude, that meme again?
Yeah,
I mean, look, if you really want to stop all these terrorists, what you do is you fund the UK to annex all the Middle East, and we'll bring them laws and railways.
And tea.
And yes, a lot of tea.
And tea.
Now, the reason why you want this as well is because then the UK is the through route that China has to build that railway, and we'll say no because it's against our strategic interests. We'll build our own railway and it go to useful places like ports so America can trade with them. That would also regain our Suez Canal.
I look forward to the day when the Suez Canal is just a straight. Thank you, climate change.
You know what I want to see, dude? I want to see eventually someone bridge the Bering Strait.
That's something I'm looking forward to, is sea levels rising and basically making it so no one can have sovereign control of that canal.
What I want is they just close off the Strait of Gibraltar and the Suez Canal, right? And then climate change happens and sea levels rise, and just the Mediterranean stays the same.
What I think is going to be funny, though, is if we get the worst of sea level rises. You want to know what nation survives all of this? Israel.
The Netherlands.
It becomes an island.
Well, I mean, Sinai becomes an island.
Jerusalem.
And yeah, Jerusalem survives.
Which annoys me, because that'll give them, like, they'll say, see, God is real, he has saved it. And I know they'll do that, and it pisses me off.
I think Tel Aviv would be partially drowned, and Haifa also, which are two, like, big... Yeah, but Israel, by and large, would survive that. That's true.
All the Arab regions sink, which I find quite funny. Like, of Israel. It's like, I know which God's going to win that argument.
Just imagine in the kind of shitstorm that's going to happen on Pole when that finally does happen.
Oh, dude, you're looking forward to the shitstorm that's going to happen on Pole when climate change just destroys all Arab countries in favor of Israel? Damn, you are confident in the existence of Pole in like 60 years or some shit.
Oh,
well,
no,
100 years.
Like that definitely won't exist because that'll be when the government has regulated the internet so much that no one even wants to use it anymore except for buying Amazon merch because they'll be untouched. Because
I think you're underestimating script kiddies.
What will be our replacement?
Script kiddies, I want Hong, Drong, and Shot because they ruined the Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer.
Do you think we'll just have like peer-to-peer networks everywhere to replace the internet?
It probably is going to be both things, frankly.
The internet will still exist. It'll be just heavily regulated by our Chinese overlords.
It's like
Amen.
Wild West is now, and it's just slowly transitioning over to China.
Funny enough, China actually comes out relatively unscathed with global warming, which is probably why they don't give a fuck.
They don't know.
I mean, they should, because, you know, they're the most polluted, and it's kind of
No, that's the point. They're actively polluting because it'll sink all their enemies.
But they actually actively pursue green technologies because of the pollution.
Don't on a person percentage basis. They actually
they have to pretend like they give a shit, otherwise people might revolt against them.
No, they actually put like a huge amount. They put as much in like green energy as they put fucking coal, like non-renewables, obviously, but because of their massive economic expansion. But they invest heavily in like solar and wind and shit.
Yeah,
especially in the cities.
Because green energy will be.
Oh my god! Oh, I have to post. That's brilliant.
Because green energy will probably be like a valuable resource to have like energy that's not dependent on any resource. Yeah. It's good for politics and such.
Oh yeah. Okay, it's midnight. I'm about to end the stream. What is this?
Like nuclear energy.
Wow. This is the last meme that we're gonna look at today. When I met my boyfriend, he was kind of transphobic, so I never told him I was a trap. Instead, I said I wanted to wait till marriage to have sex. I just find out he's a devoted Christian, so he was happy with it. Proposed to me last week, and I said, yes, I don't know if this was a good idea anymore, to be honest. The unboxing video is going to be nuts. This definitely didn't happen, but it's a funny story.
It's one of the things.
Hey, Burger, can I give a final message before we end the stream?
My final message. Change the world. Go ahead.
Hey, Andy. I love you, man. And Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Andy.
Say hi to Carlos for me and tell him that he's a faggot.
Yeah, say hi to Carlos for Freest, man, and tell him he's a faggot.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
We should do the
also, I'm better
Patreon
than
stream again.
Also, yeah.